All right, dude, you got to get it ready, man.
I'm getting it ready.
Get it prepared,
God.
dude. Get it prepared, bro. We have Jor-Don here. Sorry, Jordan. I know he's.
By the way, I know it's
that's
gonna
my
be
church
your
name. Yeah, I know his.
You can call me by
antics.
my nickname, Jor-Don. It's not that much more.
No, it's
clever.
Jor-Don. I feel like that there has to be like some type of name that sets you apart from everybody. If you just call yourself Jordan, then you know what you are? A normal person.
Yeah, I'm a kid from the 90s. There's like 17 kids with the name fucking Jordan in every classroom.
Now, how many kids have the name Jor-Don?
Yeah, I got a hard on.
Boom! Look at that. They go together.
Yo, he just spit some real facts right here. I have a hard-on Jor-Don. Wow.
Hard on. Absolutely. No doubt, no doubt.
Oh, you know what I would call that, though? Suspect.
Pretty sus, dude. Pretty sus.
Well, I appreciate y'all inviting me out here.
Yeah, dude. You know, we have a special guest here today, and
We're going to have 2 weeks of special guests, actually.
That's true.
And that's where we're kind of throwing in a little bit of a wrench. We feel like this week we had to do a contest winner. So Jor-Don was pulled out of a hat, and we decided to then invite him to the show.
it was like the Price is Right little like
Smallville
game to
edition,
get them
yes.
all to like, oh, who are the starting ones who are going to come in here and start betting.
You know why? It's because Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum, they don't have no contest. We do.
By the
That's
way,
right.
when you go on Prices Right, are y'all the dollar guy? Or do you go, okay, $901?
It depends what my position is.
It also depends on the product that's being presented.
I think you're a real scumbag if you go $1.
But if
Like,
everybody...
honestly, you wasted your entire opportunity.
Hold
in
on.
that okay.
Hold on, let me present this to you. Let me present this to you. Everybody bets 1,000, 1,100, 1,200, 1,300.
1301.
No.
Without a doubt. Without a
Then
doubt.
you are the scumbag.
No. No, if I go $1,
No reverse. That's... What are you trying to
the
say?
$1 is a real waste of... Okay, Sally from Missouri. You wasted...
Hold on. You're taking the over. I'm taking the under.
See, life's too short to bet the under, Taylor.
I'm taking the under.
No, absolutely. You gotta go over, pal.
But it also goes back to the point of it depends on the product itself.
So this Razor scooter with gas jetpacks on it, and you're gonna say $1. That's you?
I may actually have to say that.
You're a real scumbag.
You know who's a bigger scumbag? Jonathan. You know what I think he is? A murderer. You know what this episode proves to me? That I was right all along, and that he is the biggest piece of crap in Smallville.
You know how they have that like an acronym, like what would Jesus do? What would John do?
Wow.
Yeah, John would do this.
No. What would John do? Like, if it was actually him, what would he do?
Crack open a beer and be a fucking booze bag, apparently.
It was apparently a bottle of tequila, but that's exactly what he would do. Because remember, he only goes to a bar to have half a beer.
I'll tell you what right now. It's a very elaborate scheme to make John look like the bad guy, when really, it's pretty easy to do that.
And that's the idea, is that everybody in town is immediately like, yeah.
Oh, John? Yeah, it was probably him.
Yeah, that was definitely
probably
him. Even Lana, whenever she's trying to be able to have everything explained, is truly like, yep.
Yeah, Roger Nixon came back from the dead and was like, I promise you it was him. We almost became best friends. But then I died.
But that's why I wanted to bring on a guest when it came to this week, because apparently I have a bias towards Jonathan.
You do.
Everybody's...
No, that's facts. You know, fun fact, I saw Jesse yesterday, because obviously we went to go see Thor.
What? You're talking to somebody else behind my back? What is going on?
But fun fact, dude, I mean, it's just like, we all know you have a bias towards John.
What? See,
like, from the beginning, we told you, John's daddy.
All right, so no, that is not what
John is daddy, bro. Like,
John...
he was the CW dad that we had.
I would much rather have the seventh heaven father, who is now in prison for, I believe, whatever he did behind closed doors.
I'm going to stop you right there, because I promise you, I don't think you'd want that. I don't think you'd want that.
Seventh heaven.
Yeah. You want to sing that song? Sing this one.
Okay, it's not the same thing. I'm not trying. All right. It's not the same thing. Fine, you got me on theme song. But on fathers, I'm still not quite sure here.
Yeah.
You got daddy issues.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. How can you tell?
Hey, Ron, if you're still listening, get your son in check. What's the deal?
Who?
It's like, who's Taylor? I don't know him.
But yeah, I only see him like every other day.
So, all in all, we are on actual episode 13. This is Suspect.
This is Suspect.
We're going to call it Sus for short?
Yeah, sure. We can just do
We'll call it
Sus.
Sus. We'll call it Sus. Episode 13, Sus, of Season 2, Smallville. This is once again the Somebody Save Me podcast. We're waiting for somebody to save us. That's the whole thing,
Not from this episode, because this
Yo.
episode is great.
What if Tom and Mike saved us from this? Maybe that's what they're doing.
What do you mean that's what they're doing? There's no saving us from this. This episode is... This is one of my favorites
It's
here.
like a contract with the devil. But what's great about this episode, is that
Everything?
as we're doing it, we have a special guest.
I know.
We have Jordan, but Taylor.
I'm going to
Taylor
reference
likes
all episode
not
of
just
Jor-Don.
not just Taylor, but other people want to say it's Jor-Don.
That's how you
But,
spell it.
Okay.
All right,
If you
so
wanna be
that's where we're going to go.
technical-
We're
if you
going
wanna
to be technical.
If you're going to be technical,
Taylor,
yes.
honestly.
Jor-Don. Technical Taylor.
They call me
Wow.
TT for short.
TT rubs right there. He just rubs a TT right there. Boom, pow. Tactical
boom.
Taylor.
There it
You can
is.
see Jor-Don is making impacts already.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of teaming up against me, except one thing. Again, one factor when it comes to this episode. My bias with Jonathan has apparently stood out so much that we have to have a guest in order to be able to kind of be neutral on the subject. But I have a strange feeling that this guest may be taking my side.
Ooh.
Bold.
I came in here.
Hey, that's all I'm saying.
Bold
This episode
claims.
just proves all I've been saying this entire time. That's all I mean.
Bold claim.
I was told I was coming in as
Scott,
the
let's see if it
equalizer,
pays off.
the neutralizer. I didn't know which side I was going to take.
Interesting. But now that you have seen the episode, you know what? I don't want to spoil it. I want you to save it. Should we jump in now?
All right. So automatically, we already start off with a weird mask at the mansion, Luthor mansion, and of course, what's Lionel doing? Using his blind reader to read Beyond Good and Evil.
Hey, okay, so I have to ask. I don't know, maybe Jor-Don, maybe you've had the experience too, or maybe, Joseph, you have. If you're blind, do you then take a book and start rubbing it against your lips as if you need to be able to taste it as well? Does that then add something to the story? Or is that just so it's like kind of the face touching, I want to be able to feel the cover?
Taylor, I'm just going to chirp in here real quick. It's not about the feel of the lips. It's the smell. Sometimes he misses his nose. He's blind, Taylor. He may miss his face. Have you had a smell of a book?
Hold on. We're going to get to it. I don't think he's really blind still. And I think this episode also proves some of my points. But, okay, if we're going to go with the smell, fine. I will buy into it because maybe he's wanting to tell if it's a first edition book. Because if it's not, why the hell is it in the Luthor office?
He's fairly new at being blind, right? Like,
Yes, thank
so he's learning about
are we? Okay, he's fairly new. He's done a lot of things.
No, Taylor, I'm going to be
really
real
well.
honest with you. The book rubbing on the face, fairly new to being blind.
All right,
Now, is he
fine.
really
Bro,
blind?
he has
Bullshit.
a blind reader. You
know what? You got me on the book rubbing.
Real blind people don't need that.
You know what? Fine. You got me on the book rubbing. But you know what he does get is a phone call where it's now him kind of throwing a little bit of a hissy fit here about him needing a helicopter because he is leaving for Metropolis tomorrow, which, so correct me if I'm wrong here, Joseph, this goes hand in hand now with last week's episode where we saw Lex telling Lex, I'm packing my bags, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Lex then saying, great, I'll help you. So that's what I feel like going into this episode. That's what it's tying into. This is the fight they've been having. Lionel is finally leaving for Metropolis. He's calling his helicopter. The only thing is it's a storm going on, so it's obviously not tonight.
He should have been gone the next day.
Yeah, what is
He should have
Lex
been gone
doing?
the next day.
He's wanting to take his time with Daddy, and I'm not sure. Even for me, according to y'all, I have the daddy issues. But even
Yes.
for me, he would be gone the next day if he treated me like this.
Yes. I would have made sure he was gone the next day. It doesn't. At most 2.
Most 2 days, 48 hours.
He'd be gone by a Tuesday.
But isn't this... Hold on. But that's actually what I was going to ask you. How much time has passed since last week? I think it is 48 hours,
Well,
if I'm being honest with you.
Look, we got to go by air dates.
So you're saying it's a week?
We got to go by air
He's
dates, bro.
allowing his father to be
Because
announced
remember,
for a week?
we had that winter break earlier. We got to go by air dates. This is a week.
Hold on. That's why we also have the guest. Because, Jor-Don, you've seen last week now. You've seen the kidnapping between Martha and Lionel. How far is it between that and this? Would you say a week?
I wouldn't say a week. I wouldn't say 48. Give me a full 72 hours.
72, so it's 3 days.
3 days. Like a half a week. I mean...
You know, because it is moving. You got to pack. You got to get all your stuff coordinated and whatnot. You got to find the place where you're going to go, which is probably not hard for them. But you got to move.
Sure, you know what? 24
Hey, it
hours
took me
more
like a
than what
month
I
to
said,
move
but
into
it's
my
not a big
condo.
deal. It's fine. I mean, sure,
I don't
it's
really
one
think
more
it
day.
is. I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
Either way, though.
Time's a social construct, Taylor.
That's
Facts. Man-made concept.
All right, let's dive into that hole, why don't we?
Rabbit hole.
Yes.
Got a lot of time for that.
Interstellar, favorite movie. Let's go.
All right.
So,
Yeah.
so the thing is here, though. Lionel, as he's, getting his things situated... Oh, we have someone breaking in? Oh, Lionel's alerted. Oh, if that's someone there, this is not a joke. Not a funny joke at all.
The thing is, though, Lionel also acknowledges this where the questions now arise. Is that you? We've already talked about this. What are you doing here? He's immediately thinking
Who is that
it's-
you?
Exactly, which, going back to last week, I can only imagine it's Lex. And that's what my first thought going into this as well, is whenever he says, we've already had the conversation, get out of here, this is Lex's office. Why would this not be Lex that's entering his office?
True.
But now we have the gunshots going into the chest.
The really weird gunshots, by the way.
It reminded me of the POD song, Taken to the Chest.
Oh, okay.
We are. Youth of the nation.
Yeah.
He felt weird.
He did fall weird.
Like, this is kind of like, what is that? The
So,
Departed? Oh, she felt weird. Kind of like...
It's all right.
Hey, he felt funny.
All right. I love the questioning.
But all in all, yeah. So, like, Lionel gets shot twice. Like, one right in, like, almost the collarbone, heart area, and then one right in the stomach. And he falls over the ledge of the bookshelf ledge, whatever that is. And he falls over on the glass table. Now, we cut to John.
I just had to pause real quick here because I just want to ask you both, how do you survive that fall? How do you survive that fall?
Taylor, you don't.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. He fell on the glass table. It wasn't like there was some type of thing that broke it in a soft motion like a couch. No. He fell on a glass table. Wouldn't there be some serious injuries going on here?
Nah.
I think when you're blind, you have like a little bit more strength than your other fifth senses or other senses.
You ever seen Daredevil?
Oh,
There it is.
no. Stop bringing up
It's a
Marvel.
documentary.
Stop bringing up Marvel. I got yelled at last week. I'm not doing this again. No Marvel talk.
I didn't know you, dude.
There's Marvel talk from both of you.
I
Never
wasn't
again.
part of
Cut it
last
out.
week. I didn't know the rules.
That's true.
But
true.
I mean, honestly, you have other senses now that are a little bit stronger.
All right, that's fine.
I wasn't going to bring up Daredevil.
No, that's fine. I completely agree with you. But only with Daredevil 1 with Ben Affleck. None of the
Who
others.
does love Ben?
Okay. But yeah, all in all, as Taylor was interrupting me, dude, we had John waking up in his truck,
God, what a booze.
gun
bag.
in the hand, bottle of tequila in the other. We got cops surrounding him. He's waking up. He's like mad confused.
I remember my first DUI. Jesus.
He is completely thrown off, but it's also storming outside where everybody that's... seriously, this must have been a serious thing that happened when it comes to Lionel being shot, because there is a SWAT team already surrounding him, including a helicopter. Everybody's even...
Hey, Taylor, just pause right there. This isn't SWAT, bro. This is the Smallville Sheriff Office.
They have a helicopter?
They can apparently afford that.
Like, that's my only question. I would agree with you if there wasn't a helicopter, that this would have all been the highway sheriffs from, like, if anything, Reno 911. But that's what they resemble, because otherwise, the helicopter is what's setting them apart to me. I feel like there's a SWAT team around it.
That's what happens when a
Wow.
billionaire gets shot, though. I mean, if this happened to Boozebag Jonathan, nothing's going to happen. There's no SWAT team.
Hold on. So
Honestly, it's better off.
are you trying to tell me right now, Jor-Don, that it's because Jonathan is the biggest piece of crap in town that they have to call this many officers in order to surround him, because someone's going to sit in the back seat and just start hitting him?
Hey, Taylor, if Jonathan was a victim, would you send a helicopter?
Wait, who's a victim?
If Jonathan, like, let's
Jonathan's not a victim. He is never going to be a victim. No matter what happens, he is never the victim.
Exactly. When the billionaire gets shot, SWAT comes out.
No.
And that's when the helicopter comes
That's
around.
a fair point.
There
man.
it is.
That's a
All
fair
right. I
point.
love it. I love the connection there.
Because that's true.
Yes.
Imagine a celebrity getting shot.
Well, and that's the other side of it is so that Lionel is such a big deal. He brings such a big force where even Ethan
With the Pharrell hat.
Oh, yeah, seriously. Well, sometimes people just want to be happy. But he truly is now approaching Jonathan, acting as if he's a friend. Jonathan's asking, hey, friend, what's going on? Ethan says, shut up.
As a friend, shut up and get a lawyer.
Also, I'm not going to tell you what you're arrested for. You just have the right to remain silent. Hey, why don't you tell me what I'm charged with while you're arresting me? Because I think that's what the law would state me to be able to do, correct?
No.
No, that's not what the law...
Smallville, bro. This is also Ethan Smallville, bro.
Oh.
You gotta understand.
Oh.
Remember the warrant problem that he had?
The warrant problem?
Yeah, the warrant problem where he would like take forever to do it, but it's like, you know, with this, it's like easy to kind of just brush under the rug.
But I feel like that still goes back to what Jor-Don was saying, is that now that brings up the rich problem, where it's because of Lionel's status is the reason why he got such a big force in order to catch who the killer was. Jonathan now being just passed out in his truck is obviously weird because Jonathan only gets drunk at his house while watching the Sharks game.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Now, as you were watching this, though, did you believe it was John?
Yes. I'm not. Okay, all right, fine. There's so much bias when it comes to that. But here's why.
Yes, I wholeheartedly believed it was him.
Here is why. I hate everybody.
I would love to hear why. I'm all ears.
You know why? You hit on my wife. That's why. You honestly made a move on my wife last episode. You brought her to the office by yourself. You decided to give her a gift, a promotion, I'm using quotations here, because you also gave her the biggest office in the entire building that happened to be right next to yours. Obviously, there was a two-way mirror because you were hoping for something in there. But my point to you all is if I'm Jonathan and I find all this out, you're damn right. I'm going to go talk to somebody right now. And there may be a gun in my hand.
Yeah, you
Maybe a bottle of booze.
You spitting right now, bro.
It's pretty crystal clear motive here.
Honestly.
That's
I might believe it's John at this point.
That's why whenever you have me interested. And also, that's not my bias. That's truly, come on, last episode, I'm connecting the two. This is 72
John has
hours
done
after.
Questionable things too, man.
He's just an easy target, pal.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's
yeah.
easy to blame it.
He literally had a shotgun going to the bank at one point.
Yeah, but that's what you do in order to show.
He also hated his wife for working.
He's a fucking booze bag, Taylor. At the end of the day, good God.
At least with this booze bag individual, I finally have a reason for him to act this way versus the other times where it's like, oh, it's irrational. There's no way he could ever do something like that. This is the one time where we start to really believe, wait, Jonathan has that anger issue. And everybody even brings it up this episode.
That's facts,
But he's
too.
always had it these past few.
But yeah, even before, they've always said John has the temper, man. He's had the temper as an adult, but he's had the temper even when he was young as a football player. But
I mean, if you're a booze bag, that's a common tendency of having anger issues, right?
booze bag, anger.
Quarterback.
Boom.
Boom.
Small
Whitney.
town criminal.
And now this is my favorite part here.
Oh, you have a favorite part in this
after
episode?
the opening, we get to have John already in the orange jumpsuit because
No.
'cause that's-
I'm going on Jor-Don's point here, and I'm not going to let this go. Status. It is truly of who he murdered, who is being accused of, like, the murder
Probably,
here.
yeah, probably.
That's the only reason why.
But it's also like typical standards. I mean, you're not getting that orange jumpsuit unless you're actually like guilty.
Unless you're a big piece of crap in town and everybody hates you, and everybody thinks you are the murderer.
Well, maybe.
Clark and Martha then come and see Jonathan. Jonathan, of course, approaches the cell. They are going back and forth where Jonathan's like, there's no way I was able to do this.
Clark, that wasn't my gun.
And
I
Clark,
swear.
Clark is kind of obviously always taking Jonathan's side, being like, there's no way. But Dad, you got to be able to tell me what happened. John immediately says, well, I was running some errands and then I decided to stop by the Wild Coyote. All right, already I think strip club, I think bar, I think danger,
This was my thing too. Was Wild Coyote not the bar that Clark went to in Red?
Was it?
I thought it was.
If it was, then wait. They
small.
definitely had to
It's a small town.
They had to
There's one
redesign
bar.
it.
There's one bar.
Exactly. One bar.
Look, I live in Hutto. There's one bar. It's called Snuffy's. Might as well be called the Wild Coyote. Shout out Snuffy's.
The only thing that I will give you both with is because even in that episode of Red, where then they described that was the bar that everybody would go to because they would allow fake IDs, which is also kind of the acknowledgement of this Wild Coyote place. My point is, Jonathan just happened to stop by the Wild Coyote for one beer, and that was it?
He's an honest man, Taylor. You didn't believe him when he said he had one beer?
Well, apparently, according to him, everything started going woozy for him, where now we're getting these flashback scenes.
Yeah, real quick, though. When you're drunk as shit, just like kind of borderline blackout, are you going to stop your car in the middle of a storm and just roll down your window and just wash your face with the rain?
Honestly, that was my second DUI, so yes.
I'm not going to lie to you both. If you're that drunk and you're driving in this heavy of rain, I don't know what you're going to do. Because I would never drive in this heavy of rain.
Sober.
Like, sober.
Yeah.
I'm, like, scared shitless. So,
Honestly.
with this,
It really depends on the situation. Like, situations are situational.
how
Taylor.
close am I to my home?
You're in Smallville or small town, whatever.
Well,
pretty
wait,
damn
but the
close.
Wild Coyote, wouldn't the Wild Coyote be, and I believe they even said it in Red, because I'm going to go off both of your points, that Wild Coyote has been in here. But wouldn't it be at the edge of the Smallville town? So how far is that? And you know what? I'm going to give you this. 15 miles, though. Give me 15 miles. That's where it is.
Taylor, you have to be a real booze bag to think I can make it
Fif-
in 15 miles.
15 miles.
Like, there's one.
That's what I mean,
You don't
yes.
stop at a bar called Wild Coyote and have one individual single beer. You have to get some type of Happy Meal at least. Go with a beer and a shot. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And then you're gonna have another round. You're gonna talk to the bartender. You're
You
gonna,
think John's going to spend money on fast food?
I agree with both of you. That's the issue
different
here.
type of Happy Meal I was talking about, but yes, continue.
Either way, when it comes to this, Martha is thrown off. Martha's like, are you sure? Jonathan swears up and down, it was only half a beer.
I had a beer.
It was
That's
half
it.
a beer, I promise. And then all I can remember is the police then approaching my vehicle with the lights, and then I'm waking up. That's the only thing I can remember after. Martha is buying it or not buying it in this scene?
Not buying it.
I don't think
I
she
think she
is.
is not buying it.
There's no way.
To be honest.
And this is why...
Because let me tell you something about a wife, bro. Tell me she don't know her husband.
I agree. And the reason why I think she's guilty, it's also because of what she recommends. Hey, I think we should call my father. I think he should be able to help represent you. You know, the one that
Money.
hates you?
Money and also bias because it's his family. So why would he not win?
Because like what Jonathan says, oh, you mean the guy that hates me? No, if I'm ever accused of attempted murder, he'll bury me.
Oh, no, that's true. Just so he can have Martha back, too.
Exactly. Now I finally get to have my daughter proceed to what she was always meant to be. Hey, Clark, do you want a grandfather? Now we could love each other, too, now that we have the problem out of the way.
He's the worst grandfather, so...
What?
Are you kidding me? Last episode, the only one we saw, you telling me he's a good grandpa? Like he would be?
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
great
you're out of
grandpapa.
You're out of your mind.
You're out of your mind.
You're out of your mind. And I love this just like prison break like scene here. Because I already thought John looked like a hobo last week. And now he looks like he's guilty. So it just kind of plays into it. The man's been letting go at the farm.
Clark then puts his hand on his father's hand, saying, Dad, I'm going to get you out of here. All of a sudden, Martha and Jonathan are kissing.
Wait, what is Clark? Wait, he had his hand on his shoulder. Clark had his hand
While
on
his
his shoulder.
parents are making out. And would you do that with your... Look at this. Look at this. I just have to pause. I just have to do it. So pause. Everybody that is listening, pause.
5 minutes, 41 seconds. Martha and John are making out. and Clark's just like
Yeah, Dad.
reaching over like a couple bars over with his hand on
Kind of
his
an awkward
dad's.
reach angle too. I mean,
that's
He's like,
I can't
yeah.
believe y'all didn't notice it.
he's like he was just like watching the makeout. He's like, what do I do?
Kiss her. Kiss her hard.
would it be awkward if you gave him a noogie through like that middle bar?
And he's like, just like, what? Okay, Dad, yeah, you'll be okay. We'll get you out of here.
Last
But maybe
episode,
he's like, kiss her harder.
That's what I mean. Last episode, he watched them make out. Now this episode, he's massaging the shoulder while they are making out. He's getting closer.
Clark's been reading a lot of books about this.
This is how you
This
bond.
is how you heal the family.
By rubbing each other while you make out with each other.
Okay, bye, John. See you later.
Enjoy
in your orange
prison.
jumpsuit.
By the way, at least he's not in like the open area, because you understand that if he was in like the open community of prison, they would all beat the shit out of him, because John is the biggest piece of crap in town.
Honestly, no. I don't even think that. I think John would whoop some ass.
Again, it would be the
Man has a temper for a reason. He's
Real
whooping
quick,
ass.
how many beers deep is he in?
He's
Well,
sober.
apparently, he's only one in.
Well, okay, so really that equals out to be 6 or 7. I told my wife every night I've had only one beer and come home with about an 8-pack in me.
So you're saying that Jonathan has
So-
more in his system?
Yeah, I mean, if I want to see what this booze bag has in him before I bet on him to fight.
So what you both are telling me right now is that this is the raid scene where he is now stuck in prison and he's going to be in the
That's
bathroom
John,
scene.
yeah.
And
See.
then everybody is storming that bathroom stall, slamming the door, and he's beating the... You guys are comparing that guy to Jonathan.
How
I
old
just want to
school-
make sure we're on the same page.
How old school is that sheriff's jail station? Like, we're in Red Dead.
What are you talking about? I thought that was at like a school
old
field
golden
trip.
key.
Yeah,
Like
he might
the
as well have
50.
been... Might as well have been lassoed on the horse and just been brought in. Oh yeah, you said you needed this guy, right?
That's the school field trip that they visit that old farm, where they have like that plaque.
Pioneer Farm?
That says it's the Pioneer. Yeah. Hey, you guys want to make some milk?
Have you heard of the Kents? We're gonna show you today. Anyways, we get away from John's depressing story, and we go to the hospital once again because we love the hospital.
By the
every
way,
episode.
I just have to do one thing here, and I'm sorry to just mess you up here, but this is why. We're in the hospital again. I'm no Dr. Bryce. Can you explain to me why I don't have Lex's
I
lady?
can't. I
Oh.
wish I could, bro.
Okay, all right.
Because
let's-
I was really liking her.
Me too. Like, I thought there was going to be
And
a
you know
storyline.
what they thought was like, wow, Dr. Helen Bryce, such a good addition to the show. Let's bring back Dominic. Let's bring back Dominic. He was so good. We've been missing him so much. Last time we saw him, he got bested by Lex and put into the trunk of his car like he was a dead man, presented to his father, and his father said, Dominic, you idiot. He wasn't blind then, so I know he saw him.
The other side of this is, to your point, actually, I agree with everything you're saying. I want to add to it. So when did Dominic all of a sudden become his right-hand man?
After the trunk incident, obviously.
So
He saw him in the trunk. He's like, "You have potential."
That's what he said. He truly said, wow, you
'Cause
screwed up.
If you really go back to that episode
Yes.
and you look at Lionel's face when he sees Dominic in
He
the car,
smiles.
yeah, he's impressed. But who's he impressed by, Dominic or Lex?
He's impressed by Lex because he closes the
no,
trunk.
no. This just shows.
He's still in the
No, no,
trunk
no,
when he
no, no, no,
closes
no, no, no.
it. Don't give me this.
This shows that he's impressed with Dominic. It's like, hey, you tried your best. Let's see how well you do as my right-hand man.
I'm not buying it. But now going back, when it comes to the hospital, Lex walks in. Dominic immediately approaches. Where now we have the back and forth of...
Well, Lex is checking on Lionel.
Yeah, he's
Because
asking...
he's shot.
Yeah, and by the way, why?
Because we love Papa.
Why?
I mean, why can't you be a concerned son, sir?
Because
Yeah,
he
dude.
just got done bugging my office 72 hours ago.
Well, maybe a week.
A week ago.
Okay,
At
so
least.
this is what we're doing right now. So we're
At least.
All right, so we are gonna do this. Listen, guys, there is a competition in this episode, and I need y'all both to realize it. It's called Who is Worse, Lionel or Jonathan? Who would you rather have?
We've decided this already.
Now let us decide one more topic.
Okay,
here.
okay.
Who would
As
you?
far as
Hold on. I have one more new thing for this episode.
Ooh.
Who would treat Martha better? Jonathan or Lionel?
It's Lionel.
It's look.
What are we talking about?
What are we talking about?
What are we talking about here?
All right, we're going to hold on to this. I don't want to keep going with it. Hold on to this.
I'll hold my tongue.
All right, so we are now continuing, though, where this is Lex now.
It's like Battle of the Suns almost.
But
like
he's truly
Lex and
asking-
Dominic are battling with each other because, well, it kind of shows also Lex is somewhat jealous a little bit.
He's asking why is his father's lapdog here looking out for him. He's like, this is my job while he's in the hospital.
He's like, "What are you doing here, pussy?"
Dominic, though, really does come back at Lex, and this is where he comes back with, oh, Lex, I know that you were the one that was trying to kill him the entire time.
And I kind of like that too.
Except I hate one point, and that's where Dominic makes, listen, you were trying to finish the job after that night of the storm. Lex saved his father that night.
No, he's talking about the storm like yesterday, like when Lionel got shot.
24.
You did see there was lightning.
No.
During the shots.
I'm
right?
talking about he came here to finish the job. Meaning, I thought he was mentioning
Oh,
he
okay,
shot
okay,
him
okay,
for
okay.
wanting to finish the
Backtrack,
job
yes.
from the storm before of the season finale
He
of
did
season
drop
1.
that little subtle
Yes,
hint there.
that's
like,
what I meant.
Yes, last night should have been your, I'm going to finish the job. type
Exactly,
thing.
that's
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
was meaning.
yeah,
Sorry
yeah.
if that was confusing on my end, actually.
Yeah,
because,
I hate you.
Yeah, they were both storms. But when it comes to...
And this man gets him by the collar,
Yes.
bro. Lex gets him by the collar and it's like, listen here. I'm his son, not you.
And you know what? You better stop being accusing me, because guess what? No matter how hard you're trying to be the right-hand man of my father,
You're never gonna get the treatment like me or as I would get, which is really not much.
But I know he's not
ultimate
really
fight.
getting anything
I know
in
Lex
return.
is like, you're never gonna get what I would get. And it's like, what would you get, Lex?
He would get absolutely nothing.
I'll sit down real quick and let you think about it.
But Dominic actually even tells Lex, you know what? Don't even worry about it. You're lucky because they already have somebody in custody, a.k.a. Jonathan.
He's like, who is it? Oh, of course it's Jonathan Kent.
The town booze bag.
The town booze bag,
of
bro.
course.
But
And Lex is just furious. Dominic leaves.
and he even mentions, you know what? I still can't think of a better person that would kill their father other than you. Dominic always has to throw in that shot before he decides to leave, where then we open up to the next scene. I kind of hate this because...
Oh, you kind of hate it?
Yeah, Clark automatically assumed in the scene beforehand with Jonathan in prison that Mr. Smalls would immediately take on this case. He used to be able to do this before, so it's not that big of a deal.
No. You have to reject it because you're playing hard to get.
That's what you do?
Oh, wow. Hey, thanks. I get it now.
You
Honestly,
play hard to get, dude.
So
Look, man.
You never
you
accept
just-
the first offer.
Wait, wait.
Exactly. Especially as a lawyer.
Mr.
You know what you tell them? You write down on your notes and you say, I'm going to look over this.
Wait.
And I'll think about it.
That's where you slide an offer over the table.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I am not going to love the guest weeks because I am going to be immediately teamed up on, which, by the way, both of you, I automatically hate. He's playing hard to get with two 15-year-olds. That's what he's doing. You both are telling me this right now. Two 15-year-olds he's playing hard to get with.
Sometimes I forget they're 15. Very easy to do.
Very easy to do, but also I don't forget that because I love that they're 15. But Henry Smalls here is playing hard to get.
He says, no, I'm not going to represent your father. This
Okay,
is
he's
something
not
that I'm not going
technically-
to do. He immediately is...
Well, we gotta
crushed.
present the scene, Taylor. Okay, we're back at the Talon, bro. We're with Lana, we're with Clark, and Henry Smalls. Of course, they set up a meeting so Lana could help Clark out. Oh, could you please help? Clark's dead. I've only known you for 2 weeks, but I'd like to start asking favors. And of course, Henry says, no, because why would I do that?
Clark says, looks
Hard
like
to
we got to
get.
find another lawyer. Lana immediately...
Dude, Henry has his shirt tucked in.
What's the problem?
Into
He's like...
his jeans.
He's 50.
Okay. What's your point? Is he at a professional legal meeting right now? He's with 15-year-olds at a Talon.
You both
AKA
just
coffee
argued
shop.
that he was playing hard to get in a business meeting because he's a lawyer, and now you're saying no.
He's playing
He
hard to get
shouldn't be-
because Lana.
Okay, I hate you.
Different if this
I'm
was
already
at Starbucks. Let's be real honest here. Starbucks tucked in shirts fine. At a 15-year-old ran coffee shop.
Yeah, the 15-year-old owns it.
Listen, you know what? All I want to hear right now is Lana being able to explain something to Clark, which is, guess what? I believe that your father murdered Lionel, and let me tell you why.
I went by the mansion yesterday. I was just dropping off the payments, and I heard John say, "I'm gonna kill Lionel."
Actually, that's not what he said. Instead, he pulled a page of what I told you earlier, which is, guess what? What did you send my wife? What is this? No, you don't send my wife a watch. And you know what I hate?
Let me tell you something real quick
Go
before
on.
you start. You know what's crazy is that Martha hid the key, right? Hid the key to the spaceship last episode, but she can't hide the watch.
She did hide the watch. She did. They bring that up because I'll put it to you this way on why Jonathan is so mad. They say that she hides the watch in her dresser, which, by the way, he found it in her panty drawer.
Okay,
So that is why he got so mad, because it says on the back,
deep affection.
LL, meaning lick lick, and she put it in her panties. Jonathan found that and said, "This is not happening on my watch," and destroys it. Goes down to the Luthor mansion where Lana just has to butt into my issues while I am arguing with Lionel saying, "You better stay away from my family, you son of a bitch." Lionel then says, "Haha, guess what? Our families have a mutual agreement. Do you remember Clark's adoption?" Lana is standing right there listening to all of this.
With a lick.
Let me stop you a little bit.
What do you got?
Stop you a little bit.
What do you got?
Is this our first instance of Martha being an idiot?
Yes.
Because
Actually, yes. This two
You
things.
hid
Yes.
the spaceship key, right?
That's the first.
And
but
the
this is-
flower. Second, we could have sold the watch. Third, why
Maybe
would we
she-
hide it in our underwear drawer?
This is 72 hours
where your husband
after.
probably looks to sniff.
I'm sorry. This is... Both of you cut the crap.
I'm very serious though. But how are we gonna sell a watch that's engraved personally to you?
Oh, you could sell
can
it.
still
Have
do
you
that?
seen the watch?
Yeah, it's a roly,
No,
but it
he's
still
seen the
doesn't mean
watch.
LL lick on the back doesn't. That's got to decrease the value, right?
Okay,
say
see, he
that-
would know more about this. He would know.
That's why we brought him in. He owns a pawn
We
shop.
brought in the expert. You know what? Let me bring in my expert. Tell me how much this is worth.
Have you ever seen the movie Uncut Gems?
Have you ever seen the
Adam
movie- the
Sandler
show
is based
Pawn
off
Shop?
of this guy.
Lick.
So, anyways, that's my only 2 cents there. So yeah, the flashback is showing pretty much that John threatened Lionel while Lana was listening, and he threatened, "You're gonna pay."
But it's also at the same time of bringing up the past history, which is why I don't mind the scene between them, because there's so much more going on. Where Jonathan even says, "I want you to be able to stay away from my family." Lionel is even like, haha, you know what? Everything that's happened to our families has been mutual. Are you forgetting the circumstances that we've agreed upon?
On Clark's adoption.
Jonathan says, "I don't care about any of that. Your family is entirely poison. I don't want anything to do with you in this town." Lionel once again reminds Jonathan, "It was your fault. You're the one who went to the Rosses. You're the one who allowed me to be able to buy the factory."
Which is facts.
Once again, Lionel's throwing everything back at Jonathan, where everything he keeps trying to argue, he's ending up falling short, aka... This is why I would murder him. If I come out looking like a bitch after you hit on my wife, okay.
I will.
Good. The motive's very strong. For this.
I'll rot in the prison cell.
I'm gonna go.
I'll do it.
I will do it. You made me feel like this after you. I came here because you hit on my wife. You then made me feel like this? Hell no.
That's right. No, you're totally right. And of course, John just threatens him there, and they
Stay
walk
away
away.
from Martha.
And of course, the
my family, otherwise
flashback
you'll regret
ends.
it.
And Clark's like, "My dad told me he was running errands." "What do you mean, Lana?" What do you mean?
Look, I just want to let you know I told the sheriff everything because I don't like your father and I wanted to rat his ass out.
No. Lana's a snitch. You gotta get that straight.
What do you mean? I said what she did.
No. She's a snitch. We're gonna blatantly say it.
Do the
right
rules
now.
apply in a Smallville town like this?
Yes, of course.
Dude, you know, it rhymes. It's got to be true.
Look, man.
What I do love, though, is that Clark's like, yeah, but you know he's not a murderer right now, right? Yeah, I know him, Clark. He's definitely not a murderer.
Okay, that's the worst way to answer that question. She actually legit answered that. He's like, you know my dad wouldn't hurt anyone, right? She's like, I know your dad.
Kinda.
He wouldn't do that.
She immediately makes you feel like, wait.
No wonder Henry Smalls didn't want to help.
The problem, too, is that it obviously shows Clark in this episode why I'm disappointed in him in ways. Because Clark immediately smiles and says, oh, thanks.
Thanks, Lana. You always know what to say.
Oh, my God.
And so we have now the sheriff's office looking all over the Kent house. Clark walks in, is like, what the hell?
Well,
But of course, it's only because John is accused of this. They have a warrant, and you know, big problem here
what do you got?
because
You
Ethan.
seem like you want to go
Remember,
on here.
he had a warrant problem last episode. We had a warrant problem.
Boom, I love that you're... Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah,
Because it was
because
also
remember,
the
it was
shadow
Byron.
guy.
It
Yes,
was Byron.
Yes.
It was Byron. Nocturne. And he said, "Yeah, it's gonna take me a while to get a warrant, but we can make it happen." It's been a day. It's been a day, just like Byron was. It's been a day. We have a warrant now because it's John Kent.
Has it been a day or has it been 12 hours?
Dude, it might be.
Actually, yeah, I think they visited him this
It's been-
morning.
Yeah, I mean, it might be around 8 or 12.
I was going to say, it's been truly 10 to 12 hours.
So
here.
Ethan makes it happen fast if it's the Kents.
Yeah, if we're happy to go against the one guy that everybody hates in town. That's
Yeah.
exactly what we're going to be able to do. Because the only thing that also is wonderful is that now that we have Martha explaining the search warrant, Ethan then comes up and says, hey, Martha, what's this watch?
Yeah, we found it in your drawer.
Clark
Full of
immediately...
pennies.
Yeah. He found it and then he decided to smash it. But what I love before that is that they ask, okay, where did this watch come from? Clark is looking at... Tell him, Mom! Just tell him!
I mean,
okay,
at that
it was
point-
Lionel. If I find out that somebody's husband... If I'm a cop and I see that in the house, I'm be like, yeah, your husband did this. Your husband was jealous.
So you're telling me John saw this watch and decided to kill Lionel? Yes.
Martha immediately, though, is like, there's no way, Ethan, you know him. You know that he wouldn't do this. Martha, I've known him since high school. I know that he has an anger problem.
And this is where the Ethan shares. Well, I got the story from the bartender that John went to the bar, Wild Coyote, like
But
he
he
said he did.
also backs it up because Lana, he also told him the story because she ratted him. She's the snitch. And now he tells the story of Mike, the bartender. So we have two corroborating witnesses.
This becomes vantage point.
Which way is it?
By the way, guys, just look at the way he's staring at the bottom of that glass.
I wish I had more.
That's a real sign of a booze bag. And if you see that in your local bar, go give that man a hug and a shot.
So who's wrong in this scenario, Jor-Don? Because that's what I actually wanted to ask you. Is that we have Jonathan in this clip here with the Ethan story of the bartender then pouring a double shot of tequila, and the bartender's just constantly pouring him these shots while he's then turning his glass over. Oh, in this case, he puts it in his other glass.
His
because
empty glass.
There's, by the way, 14
There's
glasses
like
on the
4
table.
fucking shots of tequila around
My man's
here.
blacking out.
By the way, it was 14. I
It was
counted.
blacking
You
out.
counted
He's
14?
blacking out.
counted.
All right.
It was 14 because he also puts 2 inside of the glass where then they cut back to Clark where he's like, wait a minute.
Wait, Dad, Papa only told me he had one beer.
He had only one beer. Ethan immediately says, Clark,
Nobody's ever lied to this
I
kid.
did the blood test.
For real.
Nobody's
God.
ever lied to this guy. He doesn't understand what a booze bag.
I don't think Clark knows lying himself, dude. Oh my God, Taylor, what did you do?
Are you kidding me right now? It's this simple. Because yes, he may be the booze bag, but also Clark is never going to believe that his father would drink that much until Ethan tells him, I did the blood alcohol level myself.
Wait.
Where it was 2.0.
2.0.
I think 0.25 is like death.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, bro.
Oh, it's 2.0, yeah.
He said 2.0 BAC. You are absolutely gone.
Guys.
There's no way.
14 shots of double tequilas.
That's still like a normal 0.1 type night.
What? That's not a normal... All right, you know what? Let's test this. How much alcohol do we have here?
I have a breathalyzer on my keychain.
All right, we're going to have to
We
do
can
this.
play high score real quick.
We're going to have to be able to do this to see how you could be able to blow 2.0. Because I'll give you this
It's
thing.
not possible, I'll tell you.
I'll put it this way. You're poking holes now in a story coming from an officer.
No, stop it.
So that is why I'm telling everybody to hold on to that thought.
I don't think that's a good idea.
So this
From every
flashback,
bartender ever.
this flashback is still happening, where it kind of shows that John's being the little what would
Booze
you call it?
bag.
Booze bag, and he's giving the bartender a tip, and he's like, "Let me just buy the whole bottle. I'll give you a whole bunch of money for it." And he walks out with the bottle in hand, dips out. And that's the story Ethan is telling right now. John is in the car, decides to pull over, and now I'm reaching for the gun in the cockpit.
You mean glove compartment?
No, the cockpit.
What is this, Buzz Lightyear?
Yes.
Star Command?
Yes.
Pull it out!
And so he's ready to go in the wet rain.
You know, that's the best time to go shoot.
Yeah. Like, and then of course it shows again, Lionel, is that you? Because sure, it's
See,
Lionel.
And I do want to bring something up. If you're this drunk, you're probably bad at aiming. So there's a reason why this guy's still alive.
No. To your other point, though, if you're this drunk as well, you're having to go upstairs in order to be able to shoot him for where he's at. You also be able to have to know where he is because we saw at the very beginning how slowly that door handle was opening in order for that killer to walk in. Obviously, if you're drunk, you've had that much tequila. Are you walking in that slowly, that calmly, that silently, and being able to walk up that many stairs?
Taylor, I'm on your side on this. I think Jonathan still killed him.
Yeah, I do too. I think
Yeah, and,
that's...
and Ethan even says like we found the gunpowder on his prints and his hands, and he's guilty.
But both of you are saying that the gunpowder's not enough here, that it's the 2.0 alcohol level that then is the lie.
I don't
That's
know how
the
you're
one
functioning and walking around at that level, though.
There it
It's
is.
facts.
So, but
I was barely
that's-
doing that at
But,
one.
I mean, as a common booze bag, if you're really immune to that, you might be able to be a functioning 2.0 kind of guy. Who knows?
So if you're that big of an alcohol, even when you're at a 2.0, you're going to be able to continue an operation that makes you a silent killer.
I mean, Lionel's probably lucky that he's that drunk. If he was, let's say, 0.18, he's dead. He gets shot in the head. He
So
can't aim. He's going like this, waving his gun around. Like,
Big facts. Like, yo.
So wait, all right, I need to be looking at it. Are you saying that he becomes more Splinter Cell the drunker he gets? Or
No. He probably, the reason why that guy is still alive is because he's a terrible aim.
Yeah.
he took 2 to the chest and
Yeah.
he only shot
No,
him
but
twice.
John
He was
aimed
probably going for
terribly.
both eyeballs. Boom, boom.
That's even like a thing, dude. Like,
But
if
he's
you're
still
aiming and you didn't move, like, you're most likely going to hit the same point.
I mean, Lionel looked hungry. He looked hungry for a taste of lead straight to the mouth.
But
Math.
what if you also respect a man who has that type of head of hair where you're like, I don't want to ruin the face.
Not gonna lie,
I
Jonathan has
just
a good
want to
head of
be
hair,
able
too.
to shoot him in the heart.
Jonathan has a good head of hair.
That's facts.
Would that be jealousy then? Going back to even more, it's like my wife wants more.
I mean, probably. I mean, I never thought of it that way. I'd be upset. Look at this sweet
All
looking
right, all right.
car.
No,
Well, we have my
we
favorite part in the entire episode. We have finally, Pete. He
Because
has
you love him so much.
in this episode, I do, and I have missed him. I did not realize how much I missed him until this episode. I don't
Oh
care.
my
Put that on the record. Put that on everything. Because guess what? Pete pulls up in a brand new Firebird.
That's a Trans Am.
Either way, Trans Am,
just kidding.
Firebird. I don't know what it is, but it's red, it's shiny,
But yeah,
and
so
it's new.
just so everyone knows, I mean, if you're truly aware of our show, 2 episodes ago, 2 episodes ago, we basically got left off on you get thrown into the lockers head first, you're dead.
Well,
We never got any update. Looked like your neck was broken. There was blood. And now
Eyes
we
open.
finally see Pete. No, eyes weren't open.
eyes were open.
No, they were
Go
not.
back to the scene. Yeah, but by the way, they were completely open.
They were not open. Anyways, Pete, yes, shows up in the Trans Am, and they're at the random spot where John was supposedly found.
I hate this scene.
This is
so
this
much.
is CSI, bro.
No, it's not.
It's CSI.
This-
Clark and Pete are looking around. Mainly Clark, because he
You're
has
kidding.
X-ray vision.
I know you're kidding, right? So you're trying to tell me that. So Pete and Clark show up.
And it's cool. Let's just add this real quick. Pete says, "Oh, do you doing that eye thing? You know, I gotta let you do that in my backyard sometimes. I hit a jar full of quarters when I was 10.
Jesus Christ, Pete, you selfish son of a bitch. There's a fucking murder scene going on. You're worried about quarters in your backyard. I actually paused it, started yelling at somebody else, my girlfriend. I was like, what the fuck's wrong with Pete?
It's the weirdest
Yeah, what's
thing.
he gonna use those quarters for, huh?
It's the weirdest
He's
thing.
gonna cash them in?
I yelled at my wife, but I said, oh my God, I've missed this man so much. It's weird that we had a different reaction because the moment he said something like that, I go, yes, finally, this is what I've been missing from my Smallville last week. I need these type of comments that's going to bring me out of the serious and make me be like, oh my God, Pete, you're such an asshole.
Hey, Clark, I know you're in a weird situation right now.
Your father's in jail.
Dad's in jail? Yeah. What about my jar of quarters?
Hey, in your free time, though. In your free time.
I think the question has to be asked, though, because this is where I would be really mad if I'm Clark. How big's the jar?
Well, if it's like a gallon,
What
now
do we-
we're talking
now
about
we're
different.
talking- that's what I
But
mean,
I
that's what I'm
swear to
asking.
God, if it's like a mason jar, I'm punching.
If you no, if it's even less than that, it's like
Knowing him, too, because
It
you
was
said I
big,
buried
yeah.
it when I was 10 years old.
yes.
It's that
It
fucking-
was big.
some Mickey Mouse piggy bank kind of bullshit.
Yeah, it probably wasn't a piggy bank.
It was probably or like in like a Super Nintendo box or something like that he then buried underground. Either way, I just feel like it's probably $3 worth.
Probably. But,
That's 12 quarters.
now,
I stand by what I said.
Clark uses his X-ray vision, finds that a bullet is randomly lodged into this little cabin that's just deserted. Oh, look at this bullet. We gotta do something about it.
This is the only evidence that they have where he then says, all right, Pete, let's go. We need to go tell Sheriff Ethan. Pete even looks at Clark.
The only thing it proves is that somebody shot a shed.
But Pete even says, are you being serious right now? Is this where you're really going
I was like,
with?
well, he said he found gunpowder on my dad's hand.
But now that we found that bullet, maybe we can prove to Ethan that it wasn't my father, that somebody then forced him to shoot that gun in the rain. Clark, we are stretching this
Oh,
from
we're stretching.
just finding one bullet where Jonathan could have easily just shot that just because he was drunk. When Clark even explains this, Pete goes, you're an idiot.
He's like, well, somebody's clearly framing my dad. And Pete's like, yeah, sure. All right.
I want somebody to be able to explain to Clark, you're better than this. You've been on the Scooby-Doo gang for how long now? And this is your evidence? You were the guy that was able to go into so much research of being able to contact somebody at the DMV, somebody at the medical facility. Clark, you have learned these lessons from Chloe. You should know right now how to be able to handle the situation. Instead, you say, I found a bullet.
That's right. Because he's a great cop.
Pete knew more than him.
Well, get this, man. Lionel's about to die.
According to the doctor in the next scene, when Lex is trying to speak with him, saying, hey, how's my father? Well, you know what? We were able to get the bullet out, but guess what? He's in a coma. Clark then decides to walk in and says, hey, Sheriff Ethan, I need to talk to you. Lex, instead of being a good friend, decides to turn around and say, hey, fuck you, Clark.
I mean, back to the old doctor thing. They're all full of shit. You know how many Olympic,
What's going on?
You know how many Olympic athletes were like never supposed to walk again because of some weird childhood trauma?
Tom Cruise was apparently not supposed to run again.
Yeah, they're never supposed to walk again. Guy's winning gold medals now. But, I mean, this guy's clearly going to live.
And we love Ethan going up to Clark, and he's like, yeah, my men went over that area with a microscope. Oh, did they, Ethan? Did they, Ethan?
Well, I guess they missed it.
Yeah, well, I found the bullet, so...
How is Clark going to be able to explain that he found the bullet, where it was lodged, and just a wooden post that was randomly there in a building? How can you explain how you found that?
Yeah. And then we have Dominic roll up.
Hold on. No. I need you to be able
We
to
need
explain.
Dominic. It's more important.
No.
It's more
I
important.
need you to explain how a bullet could get there, though.
No. Okay. Someone randomly shot. Someone randomly shot it.
So this is stupid. Thank you. Go.
And so now we have Dominic coming in. He's like, Sheriff Ethan, I think I know who did it. I think I know who did it. And of course, we have another flashback where it's Lex and Lionel arguing.
This is what you should be loving. This is Vantage Point. This is now him telling a different version of the murder. We are now getting Dominic's viewpoint on who he believes did it and the motive behind it. Can you play the game of Clue instead of just reading the cards in advance? Get it together.
You know what's cool? Lionel took off a jacket and he's still wearing a jacket.
Oh my god, I love it. But yes, this
And he told Dominic to hold it too.
He did. Dominic, of course, holds it. Lex and Lionel are going back and forth because they will need to talk business. Oh,
It's basically battle of the brains right now with their business and their companies. It's like,
but he interrupted the play of Domingo's La Fuma. Is that what it's called? Is that what it's called, the play? I know that it was Domingo's play.
well, let's see.
No, it was before that when he walked in because he was asking, why did you interrupt me when I was doing this? Because Lex wanted the face-to-face meeting. He then says, you don't need your lapdog. Lionel says he can stay. Now they're discussing exactly what happened, which was apparently the lapdog, Dominique, was going to the investors and buying their shares. Lex, what the hell? How were you able to convince them to sell their LexCorp shares to you?
That is the mystery.
And that's where Lex has now lost the business. Lionel is truly laughing his ass off, saying, Lex, don't you ever backtalk me again, because right now you're just an employee. You don't ask
You're
me
just
any
another
questions.
employee, baby. And even Dominic was like threatened by that a little bit, like. But we don't get there. We won't get there.
We don't get there because that's what Dominic was telling Sheriff Ethan, and this is where he gives the motive on why Lex would be able to kill Lionel, because once again, we are going back to the Lionel death scene of being shot. This time, it's showing Lex pulling the trigger.
Dude, Dominic sucks.
Like, you would never trust this
impression
guy,
right now.
and it's only because that mustache of his is so gross where I would never be able to trust this guy. Also, he was tied up in a car. Clark, even though Lex turned his back on him, says, I find this very hard to believe that Lex would be able to do something like this. Dominique essentially laughs at Clark, saying, I think we both know that Lex is very capable of doing something like this.
Can you really trust a guy with that kind of goatee, though?
No!
It's like a half-ass goatee, pal.
No!
Dude, that goatee's trash, bro.
But that's what I mean.
Think Tony Stark and him.
Wait, so you're saying that Tony Stark, once again bringing up Marvel, even though you yelled at me last time, but you're saying...
Okay, who has a good goatee in DC?
I was going to just start spitting out some.
Okay.
But it all depends
Not
on
DC,
when they
though.
had the goatee.
I mean, you put on a stipulation on
Aquaman
that.
kind of has like that beard.
But that's
goatee
what I mean,
thing,
is
but
that
it's like
it all depends on how you're putting that goatee, because you could even say, like, Black Lightning at one point had a goatee. It was
actually
like a
no.
spear.
Black Lightning does have a goatee.
That's what I mean. Like they all like differ. Even Bruce Wayne at one point had something. Nightwing, I think, had something at one point.
Wow! Shout out Young Justice. I wish you would watch him more.
Oh, what are you talking about? Stop yelling at me just because Dick Grayson's my favorite superhero of all time.
Yeah, he's the leader of the group the entire show.
The only way it's perfect is if I'm casted. So
Maybe they'll reach out to you fourth season.
that's what they're
bro.
gonna do. You know what we're looking?
You'll be
for?
the guy that gets hit by traffic.
By the way, I'm the 5'6" Nightwing that they've been looking for.
You're like the clone that can just be killed off in one episode.
That's not true. I could be Red Hood. Put me in the Lazarus pit.
You will never be Jason.
See, look at this. Look
You
how
will
defensive now
never
that you're
be
getting because I
Jason.
just mentioned him.
No.
Look what
you
you're
just
doing
think,
right now.
No, the thing is,
See,
like,
look
you
what
think
you're
you're
doing
as
right now.
high up as
See,
that,
look
bro.
what you're doing right now.
I'm mad now. I might leave.
No, you're not, because
No,
now,
I might leave.
No, can we please go to another character that was forgotten about? But you know what? I'm going to publish in my school paper that
The Okay, we have big. We're gonna talk
Yes,
about
yes,
this.
go, let's
All right. So we come back to the Torch, which we haven't seen in
haven't
about
seen.
like 2 episodes, and it's Chloe. First off, let's explain. What are these highlights in her hair? What are these things in her hair?
All right, so
Are we trying to be tribal?
hold on.
Did Lila have a big effect on her?
Kyla,
Kyla, whatever her name was.
Kyla, don't you ever insult my wolf again.
She's dead.
Oh, my white wolf would never be forgotten. So when it comes to though Chloe and her hair, I would have agreed with you, except I'm into it. That's number one. Number two, I actually thought she did it because it matches her shirt.
That would be such a Chloe thing to do
That's
too.
what I mean. Look
God.
at your response, and now you're
But anyways,
yes.
just aside from that, because we
By
had
the
to
way,
get that
'cause
out
this
there.
isn't even not the problem.
No, it's not the problem at all.
not even
Actually,
close.
that's like the least of our
Yes.
problems here with Chloe.
Lana walks in.
So this is the torch, right?
Yes.
You know, Lana walks in. This is a school paper.
Yes.
Right. So let's publish the accused murderer of Lionel Luthor, who has nothing to do with the school.
Yes. Oh, also, you know what I hate?
I hate being so objective.
as a journalist.
You know, like
sometimes it's hard.
sometimes it's really hard to like publish things
you-
like this, you know, and it's
Do you know how that
Clark's
feels?
my best friend, you know, and it's like, but I'll still trash his dad if I need to.
You know why? Because we all believe that he did it. Because he is that piece of shit.
You know, and it's the only reason why I'm publishing this is because the principal said I had to print facts, and I have facts.
Straight cold facts.
Straight cold
By the way,
facts.
best line in this
Hold
whole
on,
show.
hold on.
Principal Reynolds said, you can only publish things in the torch if you have facts. She has facts, apparently.
Can we bring up? I don't even mind the facts. Before we even get there, I have to ask: is this appropriate for a school newspaper?
Absolutely not.
I just want.
No,
to
when this
make
scene
sure.
showed, I was mad. When I
Okay.
saw her making the front page
Yes,
of it,
Father
I was
of
like,
some
are
student
you...
at this school.
Yeah,
Boom.
what?
By the way, I really put in my notes. You can go to hell, Chloe. I did not miss you. I miss Pete. I did not miss you.
Season 2 Chloe is not to be missed
She's
whatsoever.
awful. What is
She's
going
by
on?
far probably the worst person in this
What
season.
was that? I said
It
the
probably does
same
go
thing.
Chloe than the booze bag.
You know what?
Chloe's on the power ranking scale of the worst person in this.
She is up there with Lionel right
this,
now.
With this article, yes, both of you got me on her.
She's up there with Lionel because you have Lionel, Chloe, John, Lex, Clark, Lana, maybe.
You know, they are always
Henry?
They are always on an equal playing field. The problem that I have though is that Lana even encourages it. Yeah, I can imagine. No, Lana.
Yeah, because we already got
No.
that hint from her, which she believed in earlier in this episode. Yeah, Clark, I would never think you'd do that.
Yeah, nobody has the balls to really just tell Clark. Yeah, your dad fucking killed that guy.
Nobody does. Nobody
Nobody
does.
has the balls to do it.
Nobody will ever, for some reason,
Like,
say
bro, Clark, your dad fucking killed that man.
Because you know what? Because Clark has that temper, dude.
he does, and I wonder where he got that temper from. Because
Not from his biological father.
by the way, it's certainly not from Martha, so I can only imagine. But continuing the scene, this is where Chloe brings up even further details to dig herself a
Hey,
deeper
guess
hole
what? I
this season.
found out why Henry, your father, biological father, didn't want to take the case because I heard he didn't take the case, so I was like, I had to search it up.
Some people get offended whenever I do this, but you're not, so let me continue.
You're not really confused. Okay, I'll keep going.
Suppress.
So it turns out that your father was a defense attorney, and he was being able to represent blue-collar employees, where he kept taking on the Luthors, but yet there was a moment where the Luthors happened to make a call to his firm filing a complaint, which ended up him being fired. Lana then says, but that doesn't explain anything that I asked. So,
Yeah,
thanks
Chloe's
for
on drugs right now, as you
Thanks-
can tell from her hair.
Thanks for telling me.
She might have gone through a breakup, but we don't know about
She
it.
went to Burning Man one weekend.
Can you please tell me why he's not taking the case, Chloe, which was my original question?
Yeah.
If you want to do research, Lana, then you need to do it yourself, because all I can give you is cold hard facts, you dumb bitch.
Spitting cold,
What?
hard facts.
What type of response is that? That's your friend. That's your roomie, by the way. You
No.
You guys are roommates.
They're best friends.
I don't think you could have roommates when you're 15 years old.
No, Lana.
No, they
lives
actually
together.
live.
Yeah, they live together.
at her
see him
house. He
still.
actually lives at her
By the way,
house.
we've seen plenty of pillow fights. Don't worry.
And so now we have Clark just barging in to the mansion.
I do have something to really point out when
All
I
right,
was
good.
watching this. It's been bothering me
All right.
for multiple episodes.
This
I've
is a
been
big
watching.
point.
How much money does the Luthor family have?
Apparently, billions.
It's like hundreds of billions.
Yeah.
Why is their house only candlelit every single fucking scene? How much money
Yes.
do they have to
Are
save?
the candle lit or the fire lit?
It's how much money are they saving? Is this how billionaires become trillionaires?
That's right.
I didn't know. It's been bothering me. Like they okay.
Because they
Electric
get
bill
they get
can't
a
be that
house
much.
and they say we don't spend money on AC
It looks hot in this town too. Yeah.
or
it looks,
any electrical device other than spying on each other.
I was gonna say bugging each other.
We'll
Yes.
bug each other. That's not out of the question. But AC, get out of here.
just so many candles. I feel like at some point the candle, like you have to buy a lot of
You know-
candles for this house.
you
That's
know,
a
it's
lot
hilarious
of capacity
that-
of light.
that you're even bringing up like the lighting, because what we've even talked about the Alexander the Great stuff is that they've always focused on history. So do you think this is a tie-in where it's like, we want to make sure this is a castle, we want to be able to live in
Yes,
this
of
time?
course. He literally lives in Greek mythology.
So
bro.
what you're telling me is that Lex is a kid in King Arthur's court? Please say yes.
I mean, he's not
say
King
yes for
Arthur,
you.
so yeah.
I mean, I feel like I haven't been on your side all week. I'll just say yes and do.
Yes! Finally, I
But
get
the
an
thing is here, of
acknowledgement.
course, we got to think about here is that Clark is barging in and just accusing Lex of everything.
This,
And this is like probably their really big first fight.
like what I've told you, this is Clark probably the 4th or 5th time this season who just demands things from people. Excuse me, I didn't realize that you were a part of this along with your father. Why were you not telling me?
And then Lex is like, "Stand off it, Clark!"
Well, Clark, why would you ever barge into somebody's office and immediately
Yeah,
accuse
unannounced
Lex
for one.
of saying that he didn't tell you about a business deal that happened to go on behind closed doors, where it then could have accused somebody else, but you're still wanting to just focus on your father, while Lex is also having his own daddy issues, if you did not know. The other side, or the other point that I can make to Clark, because that's what I do, I have to think of both. All right, one of us loves our daddy, the other one hates our daddy. So, Lex, tell me everything, because your daddy sucks.
Daddy.
But in this episode, I don't know who sucks more, because once again, I still believe John did it. But going to now the jail cell, we have Jonathan just sitting there moping, being himself, looking back on his past.
For fuck's sakes.
You know, when you're locked up, you really...
in 12 hours or 48 hours. He's probably got the shakes right now.
It's funny how you're locked up. You think of all the time you made mistakes and reflect on that.
Martha immediately
Like
wants to-
marrying you, Martha. Oh. Just kidding. He didn't say that.
But she actually really wants to know that, and this is where Martha puts her foot down. Why wouldn't you tell me that you went and saw Lionel? Because I was angry. I was angry, Martha.
You notice a big problem with John is that he's always angry.
Who? There's no way.
Not John.
No, he hides it so well. But Jonathan does explain in this scene, which is what I love, is that, you know what? I found the watch, and for the first time, I felt as if I was losing you. Martha immediately looks at Jonathan and says, "About damn time you show me some attention." Jonathan is now giving his apology to her, just saying, "I'm sorry." Martha trying to play dumb. For what? But with Jonathan, he is truly apologizing because he says he did not have faith in her and him when their entire relationship has been based off of trust. It's the one thing that he should have never been able to fear. He's been reckless about
Wow,
everything.
John. I'm glad you realized this like 10 episodes later.
Well, it's still though Martha believes, yes, but Jonathan, you did not shoot Lionel. Jonathan admits, no, I did not shoot Lionel.
But I let the anger get the best of me.
Which he's still acknowledging.
Does that make sense?
It does, because it's still acknowledging, guess what? There's a chance I killed him. Martha, I still want you to know there's a chance.
You know, there's a reason I'm locked in here.
There is something that could be done, but a jury, how could they ever possibly believe me? That's where the scene ends, which thank God, because I want to go back to the wild coyote.
See, the sign is what made me think that this was back in red.
I think it's the same bar. I'm not going to
I
disagree.
would assume. I mean, the
I
only
don't know if
local
it's the
bar in
same
town.
name.
You gotta go.
Small
like
town, Smallville.
small.
Can I also?
Small town, Smallville.
I also, guys, I got to talk about my other problem. Sorry, I have to talk about this one big problem. They pull up to the Wild Coyote in Pete's new car. Pete's like, "Hey, my brother tells me about this place. He says this is one place in town where you were able to use the fake ID in order to be able to get in." Clark's reaction: "How are they still in business?" Okay, party pooper.
He's
Thanks.
a 15-year-old. God, he might as well
Like-
be 70.
Thanks a lot, narc. Right, guys?
Nerd.
Yeah, seriously.
Read a book, you nerd.
Dude, Clark is the cops.
That's it's. I hated that response. Like, Clark at least let something go, which for a rundown bar, this is not a bad place. This is kind of nice
This
looking.
is a hole in the wall, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, this is an upscale hole in the wall.
this is what I was gonna say. This is not a hole in wall.
Like, this is where white women say, I want to go two-stepping, kind of hole in the wall.
That's true. That's true.
But that's what okay, that's fair though. But women would go to this establishment.
Yeah, and so would booze bags like John.
Well, John, obviously, that was probably his pickup place.
He's probably trying to get some ass. I mean, his girl's getting watches from... What is he going to get? Some ass.
Whoa.
Whoa. Did I cross the line?
Jonathan, you're telling me didn't just go for one beer. He went for one girl and one beer.
Hey, Taylor, do you think he's going to
Not
tell
just
his
one
wife,
girl.
I'm going to go there for some ass, and I only had one beer? Clearly, he's a booze bag. He's going to lie.
So Jonathan is a cheater, a liar, a stealer, a womanizer. He is just everything.
I don't like Jonathan.
And there's
I'll
no
just
bias
fuck
with me saying this stuff.
It's
There's
okay.
no bias.
It's okay to say.
Yes. All right. I just want to make sure, though. No bias.
And so Clark and Pete get in here and are immediately asking the bartender for a question. Jonathan Kent, was he in here? And of course, he's spilling the beans like, you know, he was really drunk the other night. And Clark's even like, I've never seen my dad drunk ever, even off 2 beers. Oh, because 2 beers gets you.
Listen, I could lose my liquor license because of what happened because your father, remember, he still put the 20 in the guy's pocket saying, I'm going to take your bottle of tequila, so that still jeopardizes the Wild Coyote business. Mike is very defensive, and he's like, listen, I know you don't want to hear this, but guess what? I knew Jonathan in high school, and he was a fucking asshole.
I've known John since in high school. He's always had a temper. I bet you he did it. And what does Clark do?
Show him that, you know what, it runs in the family.
That's right.
Lifts Mike up, shatters the glass above him. Mike's head is bleeding down. So much blood.
Okay, chill.
I know, there's no
Thank God
blood at
Pete's
all.
there.
However.
Yeah, thank God Pete's there.
Pete's there to
exactly.
be the equalizer. Like, oh, hey, neutralize.
So what you're telling me, too, is that we miss Pete.
I mean, I
don't
adore
think
Pete.
he had a point where he...
No, we miss Pete.
No,
That's what we
in
do.
the episodes.
Yeah, and so Clark shows off his anger, and it's really cool and stuff.
Really
and
wish
it's
you had a
like,
spin-off on the show. And
yeah,
just
it's
all
like,
about
oh
Pete.
yeah, because you're actually related to John, so you should have this anger, right?
Duh.
Pete calms
Yeah.
Clark down. Clark then puts
Yeah,
Mike...
we're on the road now. We're on the road back.
He puts Mike down back on the bar, where now they are on the road, traveling back. And Clark admits he lost his temper. Pete's
But-
like, don't worry, it happens, but I get it.
God,
Yeah,
what a-
but so all of a sudden, a semi-truck going off-road, or actually
It
oncoming
just swerved,
traffic,
yeah.
oncoming traffic, to hit Pete and Clark. And so they swerve off the road, get into dirt road, and now
on.
we have...
Deadshot?
Yeah, we have Deadshot coming
Yes.
out of the
Yes, I
coming
knew
out of the
Come
truck,
on, yes.
and he brakes and he's like has his sniper rifle ready to go.
That rifle's
And
gone.
yeah, because he knows exactly where the gas tank
There it
is in
is.
the car.
There's only one person the Luthors would ever hire. It's Deadshot, baby.
Roger Nixon,
Yes.
because he's dead.
It doesn't matter. It's still Deadshot right now because he shoots the one bullet that happens to find the gas tank on the Firebird that explodes it.
You know-
Clark is a little late, by the way.
No, yes, he is.
Yes, thank
he is
you.
very much late
Thank
because
you.
when I saw that, Pete should have been burned on the
Thank
legs
you.
at least.
Yes.
At least.
Yes.
But I can get behind the theory of Deadshot because they technically do not confirm who was in that truck.
No, they do not in this entire episode. And the only reason why I say it, as much as like we love to joke about these little things, it was one bullet.
One bullet.
And it was a perfect shot where
And
the
with
camera...
Deadshot, that's all it takes.
The camera followed it as if it was somebody that knew what they were doing that never missed.
Yeah, and So just like a little spoiler, like there's gonna be someone obviously that's behind all of this, but it's like we don't believe it could be them.
No,
No.
not with that.
And they kind of hint like, oh, you were the one the whole time, but it's like we could have connections here.
There's no way that could ever be the case. The other part, though, that I love about the scene is not only with our introduction of Deadshot. I'm still holding on to this, by the way. I'm never going to forget this. So, with our introduction of Deadshot, of him blowing up the car, Pete immediately looks over. He's like, oh, damn, my parents are going to have to buy me a new one. What is this?
I was about to say, he doesn't seem too upset about, almost dying, getting caught on fire, car being blown up. He seems pretty chill about the whole thing. Honestly, Pete's pretty cool.
This is a brand new car from Pete.
Do not support Pete here.
Yes.
Dude, honestly, I want Pete to be my buddy. Dude, he's going through all this shit.
Yes. This is why we bring in the audience.
How many cars has Pete gone through in this show so far? Just a rough estimate.
It's just 2.
Car insurance got to be really high to be hanging out with
Do you know about when he cock-blocked Clark a couple times?
Is the anger? I mean, how
Hold
many
on.
times has your friend done that to you? It happens.
Oh, see?
It's not intentional, I don't think, by Pete. Maybe it was.
So intentional.
No.
You cannot even
It was
deny
not
that.
intentional. Pete has been innocent on a lot of it. Joseph has been just really aggressive towards the
I'm
man.
going to side with Taylor.
Just
Remember when we had the brothers on here and they agreed with my theory?
Listen, the brothers called me biased against Jonathan, and this episode has proved
you
me
are
right.
though. You are though.
Breathe in, Pete. Let's check out that heart.
What is this episode? What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
Wait, what?
Tell me I'm right.
Okay, wait, what?
Okay, I'm not.
Now we
letting
go
this
back in, and we're at the hospital where Pete's getting checked out. He's all super fit and whatnot. Oh man, it's jacked a little bit. And of course, Clark's there, and he's walking away.
Can I
from
just say
Lex.
this real quick before you go on? Why couldn't Pete be Cyborg? Go on.
That's true. Yeah, I want to be. I'd be
That's
on
what I
it.
mean. Go on.
But yeah. So we have Lex coming here, basically trying to explain himself, explain the whole side of the. Look, I wasn't the one who did it. I'm not the one to blame. I think I know who did it. It was Dominic.
And it's weird because it's still going back and forth on who was going to be able to, in this case, kill Lionel, but it's still not believing it.
Yeah.
And even though it's Clark still saying, why do you think Dominic is involved? And Lex then explaining his side of the story with him showing, well, Dominic was also going to be able to lose something out of this deal, not only myself. Where now we're having the flashback scene of, once again, Lex and Lionel going back and forth with their argument.
It's the same argument.
Yes.
And it's now a different vantage point.
I said that earlier.
And so it's a matter of Lex walking out, but he overhears Dominic upset about the deal. He's like, why are you giving Lex an out there? Why are you letting him come back in? He has a way to get back in here. And of course, Dominic's upset. Why am I not the chosen one? Why am I not getting the due? I need my dues, man.
Once again, Lionel laughs at somebody's face and says, you thought that I wouldn't want to team up with my son once again? This is obviously the moment I destroyed my son is the moment I get him back in my good graces. Lionel is a psychopath. Hey, Joseph, do you want your father to tear you down? And
Just to team up with you again?
Yeah, it's like just to say, hey, come work for me.
I love my son. I want to be with him.
I hope you fail. Come work for me.
Yeah, you have to be an absolute moron to think that he's not going to pick a Luthor over anyone else.
Tough love. That's what it is.
Tough love indeed.
love.
Hey, wake up. Tough love, idiot.
Wait, so that's not tough love.
No, that's tough love.
I think it's tough love.
Are you kidding me?
Gotta build your
Lionel
kids down to
loves
make
his
him
son. He
stronger.
just absolutely hates him at the same time.
So I'm gonna convince your board members to sell their shares in order to then take over LexCorp, and then I'm gonna call you an employee to your face,
Taylor,
and
you're
then I'm
supporting
gonna
your scheme.
tell somebody else. It's like a Michael Scott situation where he's like, I hate my son. I think he's the worst. To Lex, but then behind closed doors, I think he's the best person alive.
never told him that,
I would never tell him that to his face.
Exactly. See, that's
But-
the whole thing.
So this is your top.
Yes.
Oh my god.
But hey, Taylor, we live in like normal lives. This is a billionaire's game. How do you show your kid tough love when that kid has everything?
Facts.
You have sex with a woman and then you send that woman to have sex with your son.
That's just part of it, though. This is one part.
I mean, it's a billionaire's game. We don't really comprehend what
Yeah,
they
we
go
don't
through,
know the
just
whole
because they're
thing.
like peasants out here compared to these guys.
What?
And their candlelit mansion.
Wait, what?
Dude,
That's a billionaire scam?
hate it or love it, the underdog on top.
That rhymes. It's got to be true.
It's true. 50 Cent said it.
I hate having guests. I'm not ever doing this again. The brothers are not coming on next week.
And now we got Henry walking back into the Talon, Henry Smalls. And of course, Lana is like, I know about the complaint that Luthor's had about you.
Did you look into my past?
All right, so the thing is here. Keep it rolling, because this scene
It's the best.
pisses me off.
No, it's the best.
Because I'm your daughter.
No, we are gonna let this go.
My thing is here. You had someone who was investigating for what? What was it, like 3 or 4 episodes? I think this might be my dad. And then I finally find out it's my dad. So let me barge in on his life one day in one episode. He doesn't want anything to do with me. And then he comes in, suckers up at the end. It's like, yeah, I think we can work on it. And then finally they confirm DNA test. We are related. Wow, great. Is it far-fetched for her to investigate more? I'm sorry, isn't that the whole idea here? I need to find out more about my dad.
All right, you know what's great about this? Is that I have a solution to you. I have an answer for you.
Kill Henry?
No, it's all Chloe's fault. And this is why. What does Henry Smalls then say? Well, you should have done even further research to then see why and what the complaint was and why I was quitting from that firm. Why don't you look up this in this case in order to be able to see what happened? So, what Henry Smalls said is that the little bitch who says I only produce facts with my computer should have looked further in order to find the correct facts before telling you not the whole truth, sending your ass to then come to try to backtalk me without knowing the whole story. How dare you?
You may have a point. But
Chloe's fault. Chloe's fault's my
but-
point.
remember, Chloe did demonstrate some concern as far as investigating. She said, yeah, I did a little bit of research. She did say, I did a little bit of research on that whole thing because it made me a little confused. And she paused. And she said, okay, you're not saying anything right now, so I'll keep going on what I found. So she didn't dig deep, but she digged just enough.
Just a little bit.
Just a little
Just
bit.
a tip.
Lana,
Just a tip.
Lana asked, that's great, but that still doesn't explain to me exactly why my father wouldn't take the case.
The tip
Hold
never
on.
was.
She then says, if you want an explanation, then you need to go to the source.
Look, don't get me wrong, bro. Chloe still sucks.
My problem with this is the fact of she could have gone, like, it would have been happening at the same time as the complaint. So in a way, it would have happened even further down the line. So if she was looking up 1990, for example, and that case happened in 1992, she would have been able to see this. So in the end, she would have been able to tell Lana the correct facts, unless Chloe wanted to make Lana look like an idiot. And now we got the real answer and the real villain.
Remember, we've always thought she always wants to make Lana look like the fucking idiot.
Always. She never wants to have Lana look better than her because obviously Clark automatically chooses Lana over Chloe. So Chloe in her mind has to, well, nobody else can feel that way. Lana is then saying, you know what, I wasn't doing the digging, but what type of digging are you referring to when it comes to I should have gone even further? Well, it was Kansas versus Sutton. And they were trying to get me to do something that I couldn't do. Is that it was a case that made a man go to prison, where then evidence came up later on down the road that turns out he was innocent.
And nothing happened.
You know why nothing happened?
Because of the Luthors.
No. It's because he was executed 3 months before he could be able to present that said evidence.
Because of the Luthors, bro.
Well, yeah, because of
yeah. Come on,
but I
bro.
wanted to add that little thing. But yes, in the
But yes,
end.
so
yeah.
Henry basically got out of practice for that because he felt guilty, he felt ashamed,
Yes.
he felt like he was just grimy after the Luthor thing, and that was it. And so Lana now fully understands. Now we can press play. We have Clark going back to
The
Henry's
prison.
office?
No, it's the prison.
Oh, that's right.
This is the jail.
the jail.
By the way, it looks like it's in a.
FedEx office.
I was gonna.
I was gonna say like an office in like a high school, like where guidance counselors are, and, like all kinds of shit like that.
By the way,
They're still at the torch.
I was gonna say it looked like a trailer. It looked like that they just walked into
Damn,
a
that kinda
trailer from a
does look
trailer
like a
park.
And my goodness, Clark couldn't be more giddy about how'd you get your dad to
What are
do
you
this
guys
for me,
doing
Lana?
here?
How'd you get your dad to do this for me?
Gosh darn it!
Gosh darn it, my dad's been suffering in there. I've been worried sick. But so basically, Lana just explains in a real way, like, yeah, we saw eye to eye, so he would help me. So
They actually even said, though, that they have now a new understanding of their relationship, which is they have to be honest with each other. And I believed what this really said was, don't look into each other's past.
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something real quick. Let's talk about last episode. Do you remember Henry's wife, Mrs. Smalls?
Boom, yes.
Remember how-
I know Jor-Don does, too.
You know what's crazy? How irrelevant was that conversation?
Boom. I said the same thing in my notes.
How irrelevant was that conversation?
No.
Until I see the last episode that Henry is in, maybe she may have a point. But I don't know what the last episode is.
You're out of your mind, because once again, you are not giving my woman the credit she deserves.
Mrs. Smalls.
Lana. You know what Lana said? She believed what Taylor believed. You're a damn liar. I'm not listening to your ass. Hey, Henry, I need help with this case.
She didn't say that.
You guess what?
She was
didn't-
crying at the table.
But she didn't listen to her.
Absolutely.
Boom.
That's true.
No,
she's
Mrs.
still,
Smalls didn't want another woman in
No, yeah.
her husband's life.
She's still talking to Henry, too.
That's what I mean. Lana didn't listen to her, so you could say, oh, Lana didn't say it. It
Lana
doesn't
never
matter.
listened.
But Lana didn't listen.
is a fugly slut.
She made
And
out
turn
with
the
a
book,
hot
yeah,
dog.
turning the book to Henry is like, look what your wife said about me.
That was one time.
Okay, back on track here. So
Clark
we have
now
Clark,
walks back
of
into
course,
the jail.
Henry. Yeah, Henry's talking to John through the cell, and Martha, Clark. They're all talking about how basically what the case is. You know, we could definitely have a good shot of getting you out of here, but there's a big if. Given his blindness, he cannot name the shooter, aka Lionel, because he's blind. Right, Taylor?
No, because even Clark walks in being like, don't worry, Lionel's about to wake up, so he's going to be able to identify the shooter. Nobody acknowledges he is blind until Henry brings it up saying, hey, guess
Dude.
what, guys? That's not going to work because he can't see. Unless, of course, everybody doesn't buy into it because he truly can see.
I'll tell you what, Clark on Red Kryptonite didn't buy it.
Of course he didn't.
Yeah, why would he?
Stop spoiling next week.
Oh.
If the brothers are listening, I already hate you.
Spicy. But yeah, so basically we're not out of the woods yet. Still some things going on. You could actually be in prison for a while, John. Hope you're ready.
Well, the one alibi
What an
that
attorney.
One attorney, right?
Love the confidence.
Pro bono.
he does say that the one alibi though that is shaky is Dominique's, and
Yeah.
it's because he was the one that apparently you really can't account for it because he's lonely, while everybody else can be accounted for because Lex was taking Dr. Bryce to Metropolis according to Dominique's
He
story.
literally wants Lionel to bend him over.
Okay.
Dominic, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Dominic.
Yeah. All right.
But anyways.
seriously, don't insult that.
We get away from the prison. We go back to Wild Coyote because Clark tends to break into everywhere. So even Pete acknowledges like, oh, we're breaking in another place. And so we go in here, and immediately Clark goes to the back. We see kegs, we see lots of things, and he X-ray visions through the freezer. And what do you think is in the freezer, bro?
The body that he hit because he killed Mike whenever he shattered the glass on top of his head.
Yeah, he just speed out of the car
That's
while Pete was driving.
Yes.
He's like, I'm gonna go kill that guy real quick. Okay, yeah, I'm so sorry, Pete. I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, look what I found in the freezer. How about that?
Oh my god.
Hey, what
it's-
time is this at night? Shouldn't a bar have people in there?
We have many questionable
No,
episodes
the time
like
you
that.
cannot ask because
Honestly,
I'll put it to you this way.
could be like 11 p.m. or like 7.
Clark has been copying up at 4:30 in the morning watching a girl at the cemetery passed out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so...
Times are
And,
over then.
don't you love the reactions to dead bodies?
I mean, you get
Well, no.
desensitized
No,
to
it's
it
a
after a while.
I do have to ask you the
A whole
question.
season, you know, as a 15-year-old.
When the freezer opened, you thought kryptonite, right?
Yes, I did actually, because
Okay.
it was a
The
green
green.
light.
Yes.
That green hue. And I was like, oh shit, Clark, hey, skedaddle, brother.
Yeah, and that's what I thought whenever he kept staring. I go, okay, is this a little bit different, Kryptonite?
But also, what supported it was Pete's reaction, because he would know at this point.
But I do have a question. Why is it green?
Pete's a true homie, by the way. I'm still back on
Okay,
this.
see, look,
What do you
that's
mean?
my
You just-
only defense, because you know I liked that episode when Pete found out.
Wait. That's a terrible episode.
It kind of is, but still, I liked it.
Hold on. They played basketball, and Pete thought he could take him.
Remember when Ryan
Let's
said,
not-
like, Pete's so worried about, like, letting go of your secret. Are you sure you're okay with him? And it's like, yeah, he's the homie, bro.
He's come on.
So you love Pete?
I don't.
No. You love Pete.
I
Is
did
what
not
you're
say
trying
that.
to
Did I
say.
say that?
That's what
Did I
you're
say I
trying to
love
say.
Pete?
That's what
No,
you're
you
hinting at.
respect him as
I
the
respect
homie.
his
So you respect
secretiveness.
Pete. No, you respect Pete. Say you respect Pete.
I respect Pete for that.
No, you
I
respect him
respect
like
Pete.
overall as a person.
See
as
how
like a
bad
human.
he wants me to die
Man,
for him?
see, Taylor, you're.
What are you saying? Are
take
you
your
going
small
against me
victories,
too?
pal.
You're going against me
Take
too
your
right
small
now?
wins here. I'm
I
on
bet
your
you.
side, and I'm on.
Now we go back to the hospital, Smallville General, whatever.
Oh, shit, he's got
and
a
so
gun.
we have a shadow, a silhouette coming into the door, obviously Lionel's room, and he has a gun. He has a gun. Oh my god. Oh, he shuts the blind. We gotta kind of give an aged hand here, shutting the blinds and whatnot. And so now we have a silenced pistol, just showing the hand, and boom, boom, boom. We got to go into the pillow of the bed, you know, like we're shooting the. Yeah, and of course Clark just come out and was like, "I knew you'd come," flipping the lights. Yeah, guess what? That's a pillow you just shot. And look, I just recorded everything. Now I'm gonna turn it off so no one can see my powers. But hey, why'd you do it? I knew it was you the whole time.
I'm about to like shotgun like 3 beers for how much I hate this fucking scene. This scene is so awful. Hey, the chief of the police department, hey, the captain, hey, the person that's running everything in this small town, you would have never gotten the update on the radio that Lionel Luthor's body was moved from one room to another. Nobody would be watching him. They allowed the officers to get rid of the room entirely. Nobody was around. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. The 15-year-old outsmarted everybody.
It's pretty dope, right?
I mean, this is a scene off The Godfather. This is a scene off The Godfather, but they executed and they still lost at the same time.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, this is just. I mean, not trying to shit on.
No,
Smallville here, but-
No,
I mean,
you-
just got.
No, hold on.
Hey,
Greatest show
why-
of all time. Continue.
yeah, greatest show.
Why
yeah.
is nobody guarding?
Yeah.
Why is
The
but
billionaire?
This is off The Godfather. Hey, where's security? I don't know. He's Italian. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know.
well, yeah. Then the guy comes in silencer, starts shooting pillows. I mean, at some point, hey, don't you realize you shot this man before?
We do understand
makes
too.
more noise.
Even with the silencer, shit's still loud.
Yeah.
Clark
Like you
immediately-
cannot camouflage a bullet sound just that much. Like
Get.
yeah, you're gonna hear that, and it's like, oh my god, is
Clark,
he calling me?
Wow, did somebody drop a laptop?
Clark reminded me of like the person that's in the drug commercials of turning on the lights. This is what drugs do to your brain. Like that's what this was an
Yeah, dude.
infomercial. Like what is going on? Pew pew. This is what happens.
Pew pew, body's going down.
This cop is
Body's going
trained,
down.
right? Like, I mean, once you see Clark pop up, don't you go, oh shit?
No.
shooting?
You know what's crazy is that all in all, because like the whole person behind this whole thing was
Yes.
Ethan, Sheriff Ethan.
Big twist.
Oh, big twist.
I love the twist. I'm sorry, but I'm
Actually,
all about the
no.
twist.
I actually do like it because
hate
when
this.
I first saw the episode, I remember a distinct episode where Ethan became a bad guy, and I was like, "Is this the episode?" And finally, it came to, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is the episode!" And yes, I hate the process of it.
Yes.
but the twist is nice.
It's
They
there.
accomplished something great with that because who would ever guess Ethan? He's the dumbest sheriff in this town.
The dumbest.
How did he pull this off?
But they do.
I'm sorry. How did he almost pull this off?
But it's
Almost pulled off the perfect crime.
He almost did,
And
bro.
it's real
I would have
simple.
bought it.
Blame it on the booze bag. You're the sheriff.
Hold on. But this is actually going on. I want to feed off of Jor-Don's point there. It's because of even the bar scene with what the bartender was saying with Mike is, oh, look, Jonathan was here screaming at everybody, I'm going to get Lionel back. I swear to you, I'm going to get him. That was sad. So no matter what, with all this routine with what Ethan had to do, that was said. My other question to you is the powder that they put into his drink, which is what they show Mike doing. What does that powder do? Does that turn you into a big old asshole to start screaming about how you wanted to murder Lionel? Because apparently you did that before you went to the bar. So this is all to the point of, Jonathan, you still are that piece of crap.
Yeah, and my whole thing was, it's like we agreed on, like the twist is nice. The twist is great
twist is there.
because it is there.
Yes.
Ethan being the twist is nice. Like, so basically the whole thing that Ethan did, basically he had the bartender drug John because they were high school friends. He drugged John at the bar, had one beer, obviously pretty much roofied. And he got him in the car, found he was pulled over, and so he put the gun in his hand, put the bottle of tequila in his hand. He actually poured the tequila in his mouth. Smart. Actually very smart. And John, I just love it because he's like unconscious. He's just pouring the tequila in his mouth. It's like, oh. And so he shoots the gun and blah, blah, blah to show that obviously it's John. And so Ethan at that point is framing everyone, and it's Ethan behind everything. And so now go.
I was going to say, though, to your point on how we figured out that it was Ethan, it was because Clark set up that trap because he found that picture at Mike's place after he found him in the freezer. He found it right above with them fishing, and he's like, I know who did.
And that was also weird. That was like, you see a picture that is like, oh, I know who it is. It's like, I'm sorry, you see a fishing picture of the bartender and the sheriff?
In the small town, which is what we were talking about. If it's in the small town and there's multiple pictures of everybody
Like, how many
in town,
people have said, I knew John in high school?
How many pictures have people gone fishing with each other in small town?
Yeah, there's probably a picture of him and John in there, probably. Like Clark and John.
What if
they
somebody
go
owned
fishing.
a fishing boat? Yes, exactly. What if somebody did fishing trips? But we still have the explanation of Ethan doing that all after he tells the story of how he did it. Clark is standing over him, and he's like, why would you do this? It was because the Luthors. I hate the Luthors. And by the way, he starts crying to a 15-year-old.
Yeah, let me tell you something. This is actually a Scooby-Doo episode.
I know it is. I was going to say, if it wasn't for you mingling kids.
There was such a cancer on this place. If it wasn't for you 15-year-olds.
You and your dog.
So did did Chloe still post that story?
Yes, she did. She posted it
Psych, it's not John. It was the sheriff. Actually, you know what? If she did, and she actually posted it was the sheriff, that'd be a good story.
She had a call the same day that the story was supposed to be posted saying, hey, we actually caught the real killer. She goes, okay, great. She still posted that story so that it would get the amount of like publicity and the amount of popularity.
Because everyone's running to her like, oh my God, Chloe, that's such a great story.
You know why?
It's
Because
the
it's been now
clickbait of the early 2000s.
I'm going to stay consistent with
Facts.
my main point about her. It's been 8 years now that she has been running this torch piece. So she is the one that is putting the blood, sweat, and tears into this newspaper. Now, I'm not going to disagree with her overall point of her being a piece of shit.
You realize she was 7 years old 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's that good. You not see her? She's posting murder articles about a fellow classmate in the school newspaper. What, do you think that's normal? Did you get murder updates at a school newspaper? Because I didn't.
No, I got that like the pep rally stuff.
Thank you.
What's on the cafeteria menu?
Thank you. That's exactly what I mean.
Chicken wings. So, after all that, we duped the sheriff. He is now caught, and obviously, what all that. So Lex goes to the barn. Clark is, of course, what is he reading this time? What are you doing?
It's the school yearbook, by the way, and it's about Jonathan.
Is he
and
not
Ethan.
a sophomore? Why are we buying school yearbooks at sophomore year?
No. It's not his school yearbook. This would be Jonathan's school yearbook.
It's my dad's
His
little.
dad's.
And this is where he's now showing, hey, Lex, look, him and Ethan were very close. What I love, and you should have acknowledged this. It should have been your you should have been in your notes, because what Lex says is, oh, to Jonathan, a great quarterback. No wonder Lex and him don't get along.
And it's funny because like Lex didn't like Whitney, but John doesn't like Lex.
Yes, and that's what I was like.
But we also clarified last week. Lex is going to refer to John as the farmer. He ain't the quarterback.
Yeah,
But it did stem from that.
you know what I would actually call Jonathan? Worthless. That's what I would call him. That's his nickname, Worthless. That's what we love, though, is having a villain that was able to tie into all the other episodes. We said it with all the school people where it's like, why haven't we been shown
And
them
see,
in the
that's
past?
why we agree
Yes.
on the twist, because that's what's great about it, is because he's been established, he's been dumb as shit, and we had no idea.
Now there's a reason why he was lazy. Now I get why you're a piece of shit.
And bro,
It's
if
because you are.
and then plus, if you're self-aware and you know that, you're a genius. You're honestly somewhat of a genius if you could pull this off.
And that's
So
why...
close.
So close.
So close.
He's still an idiot.
But I'm not...
It's a thin line.
It's a very thin line. Like, he almost crossed it.
You damn near thread the needle in this line.
He almost crossed it.
And then he got
He
duped by a
could've-
15-year-old.
He could have been Captain Ethan.
He got duped by Clark.
He could have went to the military. Been a general.
Clark duped him.
Yeah, 15-year-old. How many times does that happen? Scooby-Doo gang.
Ruh-roh.
Roro, indeed. So, basically, all in all, back-to-back, just like with the whole Lex and Clark and the barn thing, they're basically making up because they had their argument. But
we got it. No. We do have to show this because even Jor-Don pointed this out in his own notes, is that Clark acknowledges, well, you have to be able to grow up sometime, but...
You think you grow up with someone, you think you know them and such.
I mean, darkness like that just doesn't come out of nowhere.
I love it.
Boom.
Beautiful.
Because...
Hold on, and before you go on, Joseph, because I want to get Jordan on this. Explain to me now the barn versus the Lex mansion.
I mean,
He brought this up to me, and I thought this
watching
was
a few episodes, I've realized
very
in
valid.
Clark's barn, there's lights everywhere. There's flashlights.
They're literally hanging on the
there's
ledge.
like, but in this gigantic mansion with billionaires, candlelit, darkness, campfire. Like, what the hell?
Bro.
We're not going to go on the villain versus hero
Yeah, it's light
aspect, but
versus
instead it's
dark.
about saving
But
electricity.
honestly, the billionaires, you save money, you become a trillionaire, right? That's just money management, guys. And I think the Luthors, we should learn from this.
And you know what's crazy with his quote there? Darkness like that just doesn't come out of nowhere. You want to believe that. And Lex looks at him like, oh, yeah, you're probably right. But it's also, technically he is, because Lex's darkness wouldn't have come out of nowhere. It's stemmed from something.
Yeah, because his father beats him.
Technically, yes.
Yes, this was completely the upbringing of his father is what turned him into this.
Yeah.
But like Taylor was talking about, darkness comes from everywhere. I mean, I love Taylor. Taylor's happy-go-lucky all the time.
But he's the villain.
But did you not hear him earlier? Somebody gets my wife or hits on my wife, I'm gonna fucking murder somebody.
Straight up.
That's
He's
the
the
darkness
villain,
that just
bro.
got brought up.
He just needs one bad day.
Just one bad day.
One bad
Taylor's
day.
gonna shoot
It's
up.
like Joker said, bro. All anyone needs is just one bad day.
Yeah, I get it.
Because that's what Joker had.
I hope my bad day comes with superpowers. Now going back to the hospital, which
Lex
now
walks in to Lionel's room.
here is why you are wrong.
This fucker ain't blind.
This is why Ethan had all. Okay, please bring that up. I'm gonna actually.
There's
I'm gonna pause
no way
myself.
this guy is blind. How do you just know your son walks in without saying a fucking word?
Boom.
He said dad.
How do you know?
Go back.
Go back.
Rewind the
Go
tape.
back. Go back. He said
Rewind
dad.
the tape. Anybody can call him dad, like Martha.
I agree. What did you say about her?
Stop. Go back. Go back to when he's walking in, Taylor.
By the way, I did. Hold on.
Give me the remote.
Hold on.
Rewind the tape.
All right. So now what we do have though going
Is
back
a frozen
to
screen.
that, no, we don't. We have Lex.
Oh, look. He walked in. He just walked in. Dad.
No.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Hold on.
No, you
Unless
gotta
there's
make
something
the face.
simple-
Look at his face.
Hold on.
when he
I
walks
went
in.
back even further now because the guest is swearing. I'm going back further. I am not allowing this to go by the wayside.
Right here, look
Lex
at his face.
walks in.
That's a face when your kid walks in. He knows. Right there.
What? Are you kidding me? That man just slid. Someone just walked in.
You know what that man just
And
said?
he said dad, and he said son. Because he...
I'm with Jor-Don. He looked and he said, I know who you are, son.
Out of your mind. There's no way he's blind right now.
Fine. I'm going to buy into that. I can't buy into that part because he didn't say it. Jor-Don, I love you, but no. All right, but now going back to this. This is where I told you Ethan does have a motive. Because now we are getting into
I did like this aspect.
Yes.
Because at first I was like, are they're really not going to explain why Ethan did not have a motive?
And let me tell you, I thought Mr. Summers could not be topped as biggest piece of shit.
Dude.
I
But we already know Lionel's terrible.
We do.
but we don't get like the scenes where we show that he's truly terrible.
And
the fact that he's blind during this.
Hold on.
How can he be that terrible?
Hold on, I'm
when you're
putting my
blind?
quotation
Someone could
fingers
literally
again.
beat your ass.
Blind, I'm sure he is.
So we get the flashback.
And he says that there was just a misunderstanding between Ethan and I.
Yeah.
The misunderstanding is that what Lionel is now doing is sitting in a car where Ethan then knocks on the door, comes inside of the vehicle.
He has a file with him.
And what he says is, well, I was able to find the reports. It's small time stuff, but they're
good people.
They
They're
still
just
had a
like-
track record.
Yeah, they had a track record.
And these were the people, though, that Lionel blackmailed in order to be
To
able
get
to
the outvote
purchase their shares.
to purchase basically out of under Lex, his company.
To purchase
that
their
deal
shares
from last
to
week.
get the control of the company. This is where Lionel was
And
able
you
to
see,
do it.
this is what I'm talking about, bro. Because with these episodes, they can be so shitty, but then you have these like 10 minutes of like good.
Hold on. You and I are on the same
things.
page with the Ethan twist, though, and this is what I mean.
No, that's what I'm saying. That was the only good part,
But
really.
he has a valid point of doing what he did to Lionel, because he even says, this was a one-time deal. We're good. Lionel laughs at him. Okay.
It's like, I hope this is the beginning of a good and fruitful relationship.
No, yeah. Dude, we're not going to keep
It's the
doing
same
this.
thing that happened to John, too.
Exactly.
And you know what's crazy is that John did him a favor first.
The problem with it, though, and what Ethan realizes, which is why I give him the benefit of the doubt, Ethan knows he's the sheriff of the small town. What is Lionel going to want to do? Just use you. He is going to milk you like no other. You are the cow.
You are actually the top authority in the town.
You are the cow I'm going to get rid of.
If we're any one of us, we're going to get out of that shit, bro.
There it is. And that's why Ethan was the perfect target. In my mind, why I give Ethan the benefit of the doubt, except being busted by the 15-year-old, is, dude, I would actually go and shoot Lionel after this. Because I have no other way out.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Because it's either I have to move away.
And if you truly believe he's blind, it's going to work.
Well, yeah, exactly. And he was silent about his killing. So he didn't make any type of movement whatsoever. He was somebody in front of Lionel that he did not know.
You know, honestly, you probably wouldn't have even needed to frame anyone. You could have just shot him.
You know what's great, though? Is that Lionel even says, oh, a sheriff. Isn't that a nominated position?
Elected
position.
Jesus
No, but
Christ.
you are right. You are right. And of course, I love Lex's reaction because he's actually distraught. He's like, you literally could have ruined, like, families.
No, he
right
actually
now.
said that. He goes, how
Like,
does it
you,
feel,
by
Dad?
proxy, by what you did, you could have literally ruined an entire family.
You ruined
And he says-
Ethan, and you could have ruined Jonathan
And then
and
what
the
did
family.
he say to him? He says, well, Lex, if you didn't go underneath me, this wouldn't have happened. My God. How big of a piece of shit are you?
Hey, Lex,
Dad of the year.
if you didn't try to convince them to maintain the shares and to buy majority of the company in order for us to, or in order for them to be equal partners with you, this would have never happened.
And what does he say? You know what, Lex? I forgive you. Now we can start fresh. It's like,
It's like an action sketch. Just shake it, goes away.
yeah, what the hell is this, dude?
You know what this is called? I'm going to get a pillow and I'm going to put it over my father's face. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to let it go.
I'm going to do some Reaper shit.
I'm going to, just let this happen. Exactly.
If he was blind, he wouldn't see it coming.
He would not see it coming.
He should have hired a Reaper.
He should have.
Because he only likes killing old people, too. So Lionel would have been the perfect target for him. This would have worked. Because at that point, too, Lex should be standing there actually... And this is why Lex is the idiot. He should be standing there going, should have let you die. Should have
dude.
let you die in the storm.
That's his immediate thoughts, like
Yeah.
the past 5 episodes, bro.
Should have been
this
done.
whole season, actually. Any episode we've had with Lionel, he is literally shitting on Lex.
This is the worst I've seen, though.
Dude,
He
it is
blamed
bad.
him.
Oh, you think it's bad now?
No.
No, I'm sorry. You think it's
So
bad now.
far, though, this is the worst I have seen of Lionel. Because he blamed Lex for something that...
It was completely his fault.
That complete.
Yeah.
You did
I
that.
forgive you, Lex. You know, if you actually didn't do all that stuff, I wouldn't have even.
And
known
also, it was just a reason for him to be able to bribe the sheriff of the town. Eventually, he was going to do it.
that. Oh yeah.
It depended on the situation that made him do it.
He would find something.
Exactly. He was
And,
looking
you know,
for the
fun
opportunity.
fact, last time we see Ethan, oh, I'll miss him so much.
Is this the last time we see Dominique? Because obviously Dominique was
I
kind
hope
of
so,
forgotten
because
about.
I'll be honest, when I put in my notes, I was like, he's back. The last time I saw you, you were in a trunk and you were bested. So Lionel literally scoffed at you and shut the trunk door back down. So,
But now he's number 2.
yeah, so we roll credits on Lionel being the biggest piece of shit in Smallville.
Mr. Summers, you have been dethroned.
I think
Congrats.
so, yeah.
This episode proves that you have been dethroned.
You would think that a father that beats his own son that doesn't have powers and convinces him to basically commit suicide on a dam while listening to Stained.
Just
fuck to do?
let you know, that's what you do.
Yeah, that's what you do.
That
Yeah.
especially
If I'm
there's
gonna commit suicide, I'll probably listen to Stan, maybe Seether,
Hold on, is there?
Slipknot.
Yeah.
Do we have a
We'll
dam?
get the job done. I mean,
They're speaking what I'm talking about.
I haven't tried yet, but
Y'all
me
talking
hit the-
y'all
let me
talking about
hit-
going tonight?
Let me hit the local dam, bro. We got a
Let me
local
see.
dam here?
No. Instead, we just have a quarry. You guys want to go throw some rocks in it?
Let's go hit the quarry up. I'll jump off the theater building.
That's not going to do anything.
This is the first time I was happy.
Oh, but seriously, Lionel, go to hell.
Yeah,
This is
so-
all you. You were the main villain in this episode. I appreciated Jor-Don being here.
Yep.
What a wonderful first week of our guests. Thank you so much.
Haven't had one in a while.
I appreciate the invite, guys.
I'm
Once
glad
again.
Did you enjoy it, dude?
Dude, this is great. It's a deeper dive into the
See
show
how
I've watched.
entertaining the show can be?
Now I hear too many damn vantage points.
Whoa! Wink, wink.
Now, we got a great episode coming up. Now, let me tell you something. We're going to have the brothers here, and we're going to just have so much fun. It's because the episodes we do not like are the best ones.
These are the best.
Yeah.
This is what I want. Next week, I get high school drama. Finally, Chloe, you're going to turn into somebody that I love. And now we are going to be able to get what Taylor has been waiting for, the tears of high school people. Bring it on.
If sophomores had just no filter, man, this would be a world that's ending.
Bug juice. What a wonderful time.
Yeah. So, of course, thank you again for listening to us. Thank you to Jor-Don for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week with our special guests, the brothers, and for the episode Rush. So, cheers, cheers.